and welcome to the Blade and Soul European Wildcard. Coming to you live from the ESL studio right here in Leicester, United Kingdom. I'm Margaret Crone, and I'll be your host for this evening. Before we start things off, let's tell you about how this tournament will work. We will be doing a match of 3 with sets of 7 that will be mix and match. How this will work is you will have 3v3s for set 3, 6, and 7, while all the other sets will be 1v1. 1v1s will all be worth 1 point, while set 3 and 6 will be worth 2 points, and your final 7 set will be worth 3 points. The first team to 6 points is your European Wildcard champion. Now all your teams will be going home with prize money, so let's go through that as well. Your third place winners will be going home with $1,800 and 370 fighting points. Your second place winners will be going home with $3,000 and 500 fighting points, while your grand prize winners will be going home with $4,500, and they will be automatically qualified for the European Regionals live from Cologne, Germany. Now, without further ado, let's introduce our teams. Your first seed is going to be Ugly Intentions. Please welcome Mr. Doot, Not Empathy, and Cymex. Your second seed has not lost a single set. Please welcome Legion Esports. With Brother Bill, Not Empathy, Zaphish and Arias. And your final team, please welcome Maxim Pride. These are your ultimate wild cards. Please welcome Coloriz, Intro, and Eno. And now that you know all of your teams, please tweet us at #BNS Esports and tell us who you think will be your winners. Without further ado, let's send it over to our casters. Please take it away, Brynj and Barney.
Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Brynj and joining me here tonight is Barney. How are you feeling?
I am feeling very good. How about you?
I'm super excited because we finally get to see these contestants participate in the LAN tournament environment. We finally get to see teams like Ugly Intentions, Legion show up and just see what they could actually do and how they can perform live here, right here in Leicester.
Indeed. Considering that what was thought to be their biggest competition, the team of Bad Intentions, was unable to make it to this event, they came in feeling fairly confident, I would say, fairly confident that they would not have too much opposition. But as it has turned out, Legion certainly gave them a run for their money, not losing a single game.
Not a single set, mind you, and with that being said, of course, especially for Legion, they came short of the semifinals for the first online invitational that happened recently, just because they got knocked out of it by Ugly Intentions themselves. So now with a bit of a grudge match, of course, both of these teams are on the same spot when it comes to the standings for those fighting points for that qualification for the European Regional eventually. So this is definitely going to be a match that's going to be explosive, it's going to be really hype, and it's going to probably show us who's going to be looking poised to win it all tonight.
Indeed. However, as we have already mentioned, all the teams present here have certainly shown themselves to be incredibly good. And especially with Legion becoming, well, turning up rather unexpectedly perhaps, and proving themselves to be worthy opposition for Ugly Intentions.
And of course, let's not forget about the third team that's still left, Maxim Pride.
Maxim Pride.
Which are a total wild card. All these players are pretty standout though, so coming into this one, have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. So it's going to be really exciting. Of course, now we're going to go through a quick rundown of some of the moments that went on in the first season Invitational. And of course, as we can see, it's just like plays after plays, super aggressive coming out of Ugly Intentions.
Yes, and they're all very, very aware of the other players as well. They have rivalries and friendships. They play against each other constantly in the ladder and in spars. They know they know their enemy, and they certainly know themselves, and so they know everyone's limitations. That is what almost led them to victory, but snatched away at the very end by bad intentions.
And of course, with this matchup in particular, we expect them to pick their normal classes when it comes to Legion. It's going to be Brother Bill probably on that Blade Dancer. We're going to see areas on that Warlock, Zaphish on that KFM. And of course, with these particular players, when it comes to areas, probably the only one right now in EU that can contest Tenna for that top Warlock spot. And we have Brother Bill, who originally, for not too long ago, was only kind of like a mentee to Empathy, which is going to be his opponent on the other side on that Blade Dancer as well. Now, probably looking even stronger than him today, honestly.
Yeah, today he has certainly shown himself to be just an impeccable player, a complete standout. And I certainly expect to see great things in the coming matches from both players as well.
And that's a beautiful thing here. Since it's a LAN environment, we can't really expect anything out of both of these teams participating here because stakes are higher. It's a different type of environment. You're not at home, comfy, just sitting in your chair, playing your game. Here, a lot more is on the line, a lot more pressure. So we're going to see which ones can step it up, and touched on it a bit. Brother Bill, not only was he playing really aggressive, he seemed really confident.
Well, confidence is key when you're up against the team that indeed knocked you out in the Invitationals. So as you mentioned before, perhaps not just confidence, but a touch of revenge as well, motivating everyone along.
And of course, when it comes to confidence, probably the ones that are maybe a bit overconfident are Ugly Intentions, and they've performed exceptionally. They came really, really close to actually winning the Season 1 Invitational, and now they can get a win over Legion to start things off. They're going to be looking really, really good.
Indeed they are. However, it seems that perhaps their overconfidence has already had a slight impact, not having quite the clean streak that Legion has had. But we'll see. They are still impeccable players in their own right. We will see if they can bring it back in the end.
And of course, as you will be able to see on your screen in a short bit, there's a lot on the line, a lot of cash prizes here, those fighting points that are also important. And on top of that, first place gets $4,500 and a secure spot at the regional finals, which of course you just heard are going to be in Cologne, Germany. So that's going to be super exciting. It's going to be pretty much, we're going to probably see one of the two teams that are going to go all the way to the World Championships right here tonight.
Any one of them could take it all, and I think everyone would agree that we're more than happy to have any one of these teams go and represent us.
Oh yeah, and of course, to start things off, as we said, it's going to be a 1v1. It's going to be 2 in a row, followed up by a 3 versus 3, and then 2 more 1v1s, where for the first 3 1v1s, each team needs to lock in their players. They can only choose one player for each round. So the same player cannot play twice in those rounds. But for the 4th 1v1, they can just pick whoever.
Perhaps get a better matchup than they did originally.
And it's going to come down to a lot of mind games, a lot of just seeing what their opponents are going to be picking here tonight, since, as said right now, both teams rather looking really serious, looking really ready to start things off here. And if you had to take a guess, knowing these teams, I'd probably pick Mystery Dude to start things off for the blue team, Ugly Intentions.
It would certainly be a very, very safe start, having a Destroyer lead your team, with having a second escape skill that is incredibly versatile as well. And Mr. Dude, also known for his very aggressive plays.
It seems, however, that it's going to be Empathy starting things off for Ugly Intentions on that Blade Dancer versus Zaphish, which is, of course, one of the best, if not the best, Kung Fu master on the EU servers.
Indeed. This matchup is fairly interesting. Many people would argue it goes either way, but I would perhaps say that it's maybe a skill matchup. Both classes have ample ways to deal with one another, but especially looking out for that Kung Fu Master agility, the 100% evasion chance, may certainly throw a wrench into Empathy's plans.
And of course, historically, we've seen Kung Fu Masters be ahead when it comes to this particular matchup, but knowing both of these players, having seen them come head-to-head in previous online tournaments or just in general when it comes to their live streams and such, what do you think has the advantage here? Start with
Well,
Zap.
Empathy is probably going to be incredibly confident, and we should be seeing some of that right now.
As the round will be ready to go, and so far, once again, start things off actually with the Ice Guard is the opener of choice for Zaphish, and so far being punished, gets pulled in, dazed up, launched up into the air, and already not looking good for the Kung Fu Master here.
The Lightning Draw doing very good damage, forcing out a fairly early tap to get into Zaphish, and he gets caught again!
The stun! He actually gets the stun off of it. Plays really patiently, and now with the Maelstrom, Empathy is going to be able to stall things off, but Soaring Falcon, slow get up is going to be good for the Kung Fu Master. Nice flying slam is going to knock him up into the air. Now with the follow-up,
Empathy miss on the Rising Dragon.
And Empathy still has his tab escape. Second one still available, and so much damage coming in. Air launch, this should seal the deal. Empathy takes first blood and first draw.
That went so quickly, even he fell over at the end there.
It was the Searing Palm stacks. Unfortunately for Zaphish, not quite coming in the nick of time, but really strong showing for Ugly Intention so far.
It's an incredibly strong start there by Empathy. He abused the fact that Soaring Falcon is an unblockable knockdown and doesn't care if you have evasion or not. You will be knocked down, gives him ample time to set up, and indeed the safe damage coming out of the Lightning Draw plus the Guardian Tempest means that you avoid the tab escape of Zaphish. And indeed, afterwards, managing to catch him out from behind. Not even really needing to do too much afterwards. And, well, the match speaks for itself, I think.
And that's the big thing, especially about players like Empathy. We've seen it in the Season 1 Invitational. If you recall to the time when he faced off against Luki in that 1v1, when he opened it up, he basically took 60% of his HP pool, just one go. And that's the big danger you face when you're up against this one. You can just get melted instantly, and you just have really little time when it comes to reacting to what he opens up with.
Yes, well, such is the nature of Lightning Draw, being a guaranteed crit on knockdown opponents. Oftentimes, it's players look out for the Lightning Draw to be the main source of damage for the Blade Dancer, but as we've seen, Sunder and Rolling Thunder are actually both incredibly powerful tools, and so Blade Dancer should never be underestimated. You should never think, oh, his Lightning Draw's down, I'll be fine. You probably won't.
And on top of that, Blade Dancers just have a lot of things they can use in terms of just stalling. They have, of course, their Spin with Vortex. They have Maelstrom as an added iframe and cleanse. They have the
Guardian Tempest as well.
Exactly, and you can argue for different options when it comes to things like Dual Strike. It can be used aggressively with a pull-in, with a Daze, which is most common in this matchup, but it could also be an extra iframe, so it's just so annoying for certain classes to deal with. But fortunately for Zaphish, this time around, not working out for him.
We'll see what the teams choose as their next 1v1 matchup. The choice between Mr. Doot and Cymex for the team of Ugly Intentions. Not necessarily sure who they will choose.
And over to the side of Legion, seeing that, okay, it was Empathy, they had to lock in their choices anyway prior. What do you think would be their second player to go here?
Well, Brother Bill already had a fairly good showing against Mr. Dude, so perhaps he would want to repeat that matchup. Because Blade Dancer certainly does struggle quite a bit with the Summoner matchup. But in the case that it is not Mr. Dude, and they do throw out the Summoner, it would probably be the next best matchup would be 4 areas on that Warlock.
And, you know, Barney, from what I know, Warlock's not too bad. Not too bad right now.
They're
still,
okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Their damage is...
It's okay.
Yeah,
I'd say it's reasonable.
Yeah, it seems good. Seems good. But as said, it's going to be an interesting one. And what could probably seal the deal when it comes to these two teams facing off against each other is going to be that first 3 versus 3 match. Because 3 versus 3 matches or sets have a lot more importance to them since they grant more points themselves. It's going to be really interesting when it comes to what they will choose in terms of who opens up for them and who will be or what their combos will be like. Because when it comes to 3 versus 3, normally, of course, you have your main damage dealer, in this case, Cymax on that Summoner, or the side of Ugly Intentions, and on the other end for Legion, you have areas on the Warlock, and On top of that, you have the Savers, Blade Dancers coming in with their Maelstrom, getting their shields off, cleansing any CCs of their teammates, and then stallers like the Destroyer, in this case with Mr. Dude, and on the other side for Zaphish on that KFM.
I do think that perhaps in the 3v3s, Ugly Intentions has a slight advantage in terms of team composition, having two savers actually. Blade Dancer with Maelstrom, as you mentioned before, but also the Destroyer on stone with the Stone Shield, being able to save everyone in much the same manner as a Frost Sheath from a Force Master, granting an additional layer of safety for their team.
Okay, and it is going to be Arias versus Cymex, Warlock versus Summoner, coming up next in that second set. So far, for Sanctum being popped already by Arias, both of them playing really patiently. None wanting to go too aggressive here, overstaying their welcome, but Bastion was used too, so...
The Thrall triggering the Sea Trout as well, giving Cymex a fairly good opportunity to get some good damage off here at the beginning.
This might force Arias to use that Time Warp earlier than you would want to, but the Untappable Leech might come through, and now with the Time Warp, Cymex is going to run for his life.
Cymex still has his second wind escape, and indeed the Pedal Storm is protecting him from the Dimensional Sabos, but he's still going through with the damage.
He's actually going to also drop really, really low to 14%, 5% now. Cymex, it might just go out right now. The Thrall, of course, timing out, and this is Cymex time to recover. He could still do it. Gets the air launch, and Arias already dropping down to 50% HP. His Thrall should come back up, but no! Cooldowns are going to be good, and Arias equalizes the series 1-1.
Yes, a good answer to the first match that they had. Cymex, of course, on that Summoner. We all know what Summoner is capable of. You see a certain percentage of health and you think, oh, well, this is probably fine. And then suddenly they have half their health back and you think, oh, well, that's not good.
And you made a good point during the first Invitational where when it comes to Summoners, if they don't have around 15% HP or lower, you don't really care. Because of their sustain, they're going to be able to heal back up. And fortunately for Cymex, I believe if he would have had around 10% HP 15, maybe it would have been enough to recover.
Alas, he was at the cusp, the very edge of the health necessary to survive that final Dragon Helix, which sadly ignores Pedal Storm. Oh, sadly for Cymex.
Sadly for Cymex.
And so now it does seem like the next matchup will be Brother Bill on that Blade Dancer against Mr. Doot on the Destroyer.
But before that, we will be moving on to our first free versus free matchup. So that's going to be definitely really exciting to watch. Of course, in terms of their openers, what do you expect here from both of these teams?
I would expect probably either a Warlock or a Kung Fu Master opener for Legion. Kung Fu Master has fairly good openers, I would say, especially if Zaphish is running the Resist Flurry. He can get a very easy, safe opener onto the enemy opener, and maybe even proc triple kick or firestorm kick if he happens to resist something on his way in. But from the side of Ugly Intentions, I would have to probably guess it would be Mr. Dude. He loves to start.
Oh yeah, and just like we said before, the Destroyer currently just has so many different tools with that change to Stone Shield, being able to save his teammates, but also just buy a lot of time.
Yeah, he's suddenly very, very versatile.
And on top of that, he's not scared to pull out some really aggressive maneuvers with Fury instead of Persistence when it comes to that buff particular choice.
Indeed, as he showed in the Invitational against Tenno's Warlock, where he decided, I'm not going to let you use Time Distortion. I'm going to kill the Thrall before that. So we might indeed see that come in as an aggressive assist from the side of Ugly Intentions. Perhaps if a Blade Dancer manages to grab one of the opponents, he might not even need Fury if he's running Restraint and Grab, which is a bit of a cheese strat, but it's been shown to work before.
And speaking of cheese strats, do you remember the time Cymex used the bees? No, God, not the bees. We'll find out what's gonna be the answer on both of these sides, as Zaphish will be starting off on the side of Legion Esports, and for Ugly Intentions is gonna be Mr. Dude. So far with the Ice Guards, gonna keep Zaphish safe, trying to do something. Seeing Strides coming in, Typhoon actually already knocking his opponent away, but trying to get in a good approach. So far, getting knocked down, but the Ember Stomp is down, and now with the assist, it's gonna be Zaphish still able to stay safe. Both assists actually coming through the guard.
It is the restraint grab from the side of Legion Esports. But unfortunately, Zaphish was dazed and was unable to do much.
And with the Stone Shield now timing out, but with the Bull actually still gets it. Mr. Dude now will be knocked down. Dazed up stunts coming in, but the assist from Cymex might keep him safe. But Mr. Dude still dropping down to 40% HP, 30% now. And with the air launch, this could be it. Mr. Dude might be out. And there
Zaphish,
he goes.
you madman.
The Kung Fu Master showing off some smooth moves already, opening up with a kill. And Legion Esports looking unstoppable right now.
He's dancing around their graves at this point. Now, he has avoided, I think, every single crowd control that Ugly Intentions has thrown their way in an attempt to do stuff.
But now he
gets
is
caught.
there, and with the assist, this should keep Zaphish alive. So Empathy with Cymex not really able to capitalize off of it just yet. But
Flying
the Flying Slam.
Slam.
Flying Slam is there. Is it gonna be enough? No, Empathy
has no tab.
press down, and he's gonna drop to 4%. Finally, with that knockdown, is gonna keep him. Oh man,
Not
but
like
still. Legion Esports and Zaphish in particular just destroying the opposition now. Familiar, the kitty coming in, getting the grapple, isn't gonna matter. Areas is in for Legion, and this should be it for Cymex and Ugly Intentions.
Finally, the auto tank decides it's time, Zaphish. You've done enough.
Oh man, could you even ask for more out of this team of Legion Esports as Cymex desperately trying to do something, but with the time work, with the pull-in, with the CCs.
And the blue buff.
Oh man.
Everything all at once. That was a massacre. Wow. I'm at a loss for words.
I mean, Zaphish, for us, we were talking about this before the broadcast, and for us, Zaphish was a bit of a question, just because the class in general right now, Kung Fu Master having such a high skill ceiling, and just in the current state of the game, current patch, not really considered meta, if you will.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult to make them perform as well as some of the other options you got out there, but Zaphish just looking like single-handedly just destroyed them right there.
Completely. Just any doubts we might have had before this are now gone. Just never to be seen again.
And it's the caster curse. We were saying about Cymex that he's an exceptional individual player, but we question how he would perform in a team environment with his 3 versus 3 setups. And in the first Invitational, he did really, really well. And now, we question Zaphish, but questions
I think we
definitely answered.
I think we should stop questioning the other players. We should just be like, yeah, it's Zaphish.
But
we know he's good.
But at least we have the reverse caster curse.
That is, yeah, we have the reverse caster curse.
That's better. That's
well,
better.
You know, for Legion anyway.
That indeed it is. And with that, Legion will have a 3-point lead, 2-1, on the side of Ugly Intentions. And this is not necessarily how I expected things to turn out so far.
Yeah, this is definitely different. Not necessarily bad or good, but different.
And of course, we talked about it previously, but it is going to be Mr. Dude versus Brother Bill in the next 1v1 matchup. So you talked a little bit about it. Blade Answer versus Destroyer. How do you feel?
Well, both classes, again, as is often the case, have tools to deal with one another. I'd say that perhaps the Destroyer has a bit of an advantage, having the access to drag, being able to pull in the Blade Dancer from a range, from quite a far distance, ignoring all deflects as well. And indeed, if Brother Bill doesn't happen to have a roll available, that's a 3-second stun, essentially, if you're not able to roll the daze. So additionally, Brother Bill will have an extra layer of protection to go through the persistence of Mr. B, unless he decides to go completely ham and use Fury, in which case it could work.
Yeah,
it has worked.
Too unexpected out of Mr. Dude.
And so, yeah, I think Brother Bill, looking objectively at the classes, will have a bit of a tougher time, but he has already shown Mr. Doot that he is more than capable of taking him on and winning. So indeed, that confidence, perhaps overconfidence, might be the deciding factor.
Especially since we're saying Ugly Intentions. We're coming in hot here. They were most likely in our eyes at least, the tournament favorites here, seeing that their previous opponents that bested them in the finals for the Season 1 Invitational aren't here in Bad Intentions. Ugly Intentions were definitely feeling good about themselves, thinking that, okay, we're going to go into this one. They actually knocked out Legion Esports, of course, out of the losers bracket, since the tournament set up for the Season 1 Invitational as well as this one. But the Wildcard is, of course, both of them are double elimination format. Legion Esports, previous time, got knocked out by Ugly Intentions, so they definitely have a little bit of grudge towards them.
It's carrying them. It's definitely doing something for them. And who knows, maybe it'll see them through to the very end.
Because unfortunately, as we said, and during the Season 1 Invitational, we didn't really get to see them in action since they didn't make it. They went one series too short of making it to the semifinals, and now, so far, proving themselves as to why we initially thought that they would make it really far, even in the Season 1 Invitational.
Indeed, perhaps simply a bad day during the Invitational, because now it's now they have definitely shown themselves to be good. And here we will be going into the match: Brother Bill Blade Dancer versus Mr. Duke Destroyer.
And as we said, it is going to be Brother Bill on that blue side with the Blade Dancer and Mr. Dude in red on the Destro, but already gets knocked down by the Soaring Falcon, trying to use both of their iframes. Even Ember Stomp coming out of Mr. Dude so far, but Guardian Tempest full timeout for Brother Bill too. And with that, Dude looking for an opening here, but the neutral game still gonna be initiated by Brother Bill. Answer is good so far by Dude. We'll see what he can do, as Gust was used already. And now with the follow-up, Brother Bill still waiting patiently on that tab escape. He needs to do really just wonders at this point.
He is being very cautious about persistence, even though second wind was used aggressively by Mr. Duke there. Now he's grabbed, and you can't use persistence out of a grab, so this could be a fairly good setup here.
Probably going to drop him down, and yes, he does. Lightning Draw actually coming through, but no, the
ground
counter coming through, and now the dodges left and right with the strafes. Mr. Dude being the one that is going to go down to 37% HP already and running really low on resources now.
Very low. Brother Bill's tab escape has just come back, so now he can play a bit more aggressively. Catches him out with a 5-point strike.
And with the air launch, this spells doom for Dude potentially, as he's going to do some good return damage. Stone Shield into those crits and hits. Flock of Blades will be able to get him out of the grab, but still, tab escape, second one still available. Persistence was used. Mr. Dude needs to do something here. Needs to do a lot of damage. And the fall, not quite there. Maelstrom, grapple, also not connecting. Typhoon coming out of Destroyer, and this is really close. Both of them really low HP.
Oh, the Ram avoids the Soaring Falcon.
Escape was forced, but the draw is going to come unstunned. Actually is good. Connect, and Brother Bill takes it.
Nice. Nice. That was impeccable right there. Knocking him down out of the Hurricane Spin, forcing him to roll with the dual strike daze and using Lightning Draw at the same time, and then catching him with
the right-click stun on top of that. It's just...
man. That's, yeah. Well played. That was great. For Bill. Not for Mr. Duke,
Mr. Duke.
That was very well played. The ground game from Bill was he was very patient. He was very aware that Mr. Duke would use his persistence in a way that would try to catch him out, possibly with the Ram stun or the Stone Shield, or maybe even a knockdown with the Axe Sweep. And he played around it beautifully and secured himself that victory.
And that's what I'm saying. Brother Bill, of course, previously being just kind of like a mentee to Empathy, now today showing up exceptionally strong. I honestly believe at this point, judging by how he's playing in this LAN tournament setting, he could definitely have a case made for himself for being the top BD in EU.
Yes, he could. Rank 1 BD confirmed. We'll have to wait and see.
Of course, it's not over just yet. Coming up next, it will be another 1 versus 1, but this time around, both of the teams can choose freely which member is going to come up next, and judging by that, who do you think we're going to see?
Well, I think Zaphish will want to preserve his confidence for the 3 versus 3. And so the choice will probably fall to either areas on the Warlock or Brother Bill on the Blade Dancer. As for the side of Ugly Intentions, that depends on whether or not revenge is a factor. If he wants to go right back into it, Mr. Dude and Brother Bill could see a very early rematch. Alternatively, they might send Cymex up instead, because the Blade Dancer, assuming that Brother Bill is chosen on the side of Legion Esports, Summoner is a fairly difficult matchup for Blade Dancer. They don't really have very many ways to deal, good damage, good safe damage. Unlike the Destroyer into Summoner matchup, where their grip also blocks, but they have the addition of Ember Stomp, so they can't get blindsided by the cat.
But the big thing here that we have yet to mention is the fact that with that previous victory, that puts Legion Esports up at 4 points, meaning that if they win the next 3 versus 3, they're good. They're gonna advance, they're gonna win, having at least 6 points, even if they lose the next 1v1.
They are definitely in a very, very good spot.
So Ugly Intentions will be feeling the pressure. They need to win not only, of course, the next 3 versus 3, they need to win another one consecutively.
It's definitely going to be tricky. After that first 3 versus 3, I would be rattled. Being essentially 1v3'd by Zaphish, that's a kung fu master, a class that a lot of people make jokes about, saying that it's kung fu master, so it's probably okay. And then having that happen to you, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. High hopes for Legion, I'd say.
Oh yeah, especially since prior to the tournament, talking to a lot of the players and just asking for their opinion in general, teams like counting in all the times these teams matched up against each other on ladder, for the most part, Legion Esports did have a higher victory percentage. So it is still looking really good for them right now.
It's possible that individual skill is the biggest factor. But amazingly, we'll be seeing Zaphish versus Mr. Doot. A matchup that is considered to be actually not that favorable for Destroyer, so we'll see how this turns out. An early Typhoon used.
That was very early of Dude, but maybe, just maybe, wanted to play extremely safe. For now, we'll see the Ice Guard come through, and knockdown is good, but no other cooldowns used as of yet. Still blocking around. SS will be used by the come from Master Strafes. Trying to go in, but gets the Stone Shield stun, actually. Zaphish now potentially in trouble, but no!
Oh, the agility makes the drag completely whiff. The flying slam.
And now this turnaround is definitely there, potentially, but Gus was used. Mr. Dude saying nope, wanting to get out of that particular bind in an instant, but Zaphish still applying a lot of pressure with the Rising Dragon. Is going to force the second escape out of Mr. Dude, and without persistence, and Gus still on cooldown for 20 seconds. Mr. Dude needs to act right now, but still Zaphish gonna get the knockup off of the smite, and this is not looking good for Dude.
Yeah, Zaphish is definitely...
oh man, he's on fire, still strafing around, Dude. Really, really low. Gus, 4 seconds with the Ember Stomp, with the Stone Shield. He's going to be able to stay safe. Gets the grapple. Second win still available for Zaphish, so we'll see when he's going to use it. Dude,
he will be forced to use it there.
And with that, things might not look so great for Zaphish anymore. Typhoon even got
into the wall.
Oh, but the follow-up is going to get stopped. Mr. Dude, he's going to be launched up in the air. He still has Gus, though, so he's going to be safe for an extra while. Now, having used it, this is not looking good for Zaphish, but with that being said, 14 seconds left on that second win. Gets the roll, but punish on T.
No, this
follow-up is good, and Dude
cleave.
Cleaves him in half and secures the win.
A very, very clean turnaround from Mr. Dude there. Looked fairly bad at the beginning there when Zaphish baited out his Gust escape skill with the Tremor, knowing that he would instantly use it, and then catching him out as well with the Rising Dragon, forcing out his persistence. But unfortunately, Zaphish was actually caught between blocks, between his counters by the Ram, and with the Ember Stomp there as well, after the Power Slam, he was forced to use his second wind. You just can't afford to take that much free damage from the Wrath Cleave animation cancelling.
And just looking at the players right now, Ugly Intentions definitely feeling the pressure. They need to come up with a winning strategy in this next 3 versus 3, or they will be knocked out, rather down into the losers bracket, and that's not a position you want to be in, Barney.
Indeed. Hopefully this loss will not be too detrimental for Legion, but more importantly, is the self-confidence still there? Will we see such a dominating performance in this next 3 versus 3?
And will we see Zaphish be the opener once again, you think, for Legion?
I think it's possible, but perhaps the Blade Dance opener is also fairly safe, with the Soaring Falcon being pretty good option. If you land it onto your opponent and they are knocked down, you get to use Divine Retribution, a Windwalk skill that you will never use again in that match, but it's a free stun if you land it.
And I've seen that happen before. Players like Empathy, of course, pulling that off plenty of times, surprisingly so. But still, I would say most likely we're not going to see the Blade Dancer just because, as we've said, they're more of a savior type role where they come in with the assist, with that Maelstrom, get the cleanse off, get their teammates safe, and make sure they're A-OK and good to go. That's because, of course, some of those combos can just melt you down in a couple of seconds. Or if you just blink, you might miss it.
Yes, all classes here do have 100-0 potential. If you're out of escapes and no one's willing to assist you, or indeed if they can't assist you for whatever reason, then yeah, you will very quickly find yourself 6 feet under.
And that's another thing we haven't talked about too much, but when it comes to free versus free, a very important factor are the assists. The number of assists you have, the way you use them, so you want to keep them as a resource, if you will, as well as the tag outs. So you really want to play around those particular things. But it is going to be Zaphish in the opener versus Dude.
Once again.
And we'll see if Ugly Intentions can have a better time. It's so far looking really good, actually, as the Maelstrom will come out. Now the Legion, and with that, we'll see Zaphish stay alive, but the follow-up still good on the side of Mr. Dude. Will be frozen up, manages to get out of it. SS for now, Ice Guard into the flank stamp, but no, gets it procced right before connecting with it, and with that, Zaphish not looking too hot, but coming in. Oh, Empathy tried to get the grapple, does not get it, and Zaphish might just stay alive because of it, but still not tagging out.
He still has his second wind escape, but Mr. Dude using the selfish Stone Shield resist gets deflected!
Oh,
no!
Not the sound you want to hear if you're Zaphish right now. With the grapple, you should be alive at least, since his teammates could come in for an assist, but we'll just tag out. And Ares is going to come up next for Legion.
Yes, getting away from that Ember Stomp drag, hitting into the Thrall, actually. That hitbox is always just a little too big for you.
Thralls can get in a way, but Sanctum is going to be down. Typhoon actually used to knock the Warlock away, but so far still persistent. Will be the follow-up, and with the Searing Strike, with the knock-up, Mr. Dew still trying to do plenty here, and with Time Warp coming out, Cymax is going to be the next one up for the side of Ugly Intentions, as Area's not able to do too much just yet off of the particular cooldown.
Oh, that's Cymax now. He's out of the second wind escape, and he gets caught out again, but luckily his Sea Shroud is activated. Now Brother Bill comes in. Not exactly a favorable matchup here. Cymax hiding behind his familiar. But Bill going
with the draw.
Right in.
Cymax is going to drop to 30%. And with that, Mr. Dude is going to come in, save his teammate. But that was looking really bad for the
Cymax comes in for some revenge.
Now with the revenge is going to go really, really low himself. And this is really close, Barney.
Whoa, this is definitely not the steamroll from the first 3 versus 3. But there is yet more to come.
The raid stun predict out of it. We'll get Zaphish there, and now with the right click knockdown is going to get him on the ground, but so far still, we'll see what it can do. Second win available for both of these players as they're going to pop it, and actually, Mr. Dude is going to come in on the side of Ugly Intentions.
Zaphish has no second wind escape. If he gets caught out here, this could spell death.
Oh, and that could be just it, Mr. Dude, but Area's now coming in as well with that Warlock, with that Thrall. Could be enough on the side, but no.
The flying slam. Missing its mark just a little bit. But the ground game coming out as well.
And now, Brother Bill having that Guardian Tempest is going to heal him back up. Literally, it's just a bit. Maelstrom is going to extend that safety, but pulls him in. Grapple was dodged, and now with the grab, can they do anything off it? No. Zaphish coming in, playing spoiler.
Empathy gets tagged in and immediately forced to use his second wind escape there. Doesn't want to take any of that damage from the Tremor. But now Silence is going to come in, and I think Brother Bill is actually going to come down.
6%, and he's dead. Brother Bill is out, and with that, that's what we're talking about. The DPS coming out of the Summoner just so strong, but Zaphish not out of it just yet. Gets the smite, launches the opponent up into the air, and remember, 12 seconds still left on that tap escape. Doesn't catch him with the ankle biter. Both players actually missing their ankle biters. Triple kick. Now coming in, Typhoon is gonna keep Empathy safe.
The tech chase was perfect there. Zaphish, no second wind, unable to tag out now, having used ult beforehand.
Guardian Tempest and the right-click stun into the air launch.
Unless,
still,
actually...
Area's coming in to save him, but no. Unfortunately, on the side of Legion, Empathy is going to be able to clean it up.
But now Area's all by himself.
Still, who knows? Warlock damage. You can never underestimate it. Speaking of which, with the Leech, Cymax, with the Torimorph, is going to be able to stay safe for a while, having used that escape, being off cooldown.
Oh, but he gets actually pounced by the Familiar, but
with the
Cymax
air
is taking a lot of damage here, but the Pedal Storm is actually protecting him from the Dimensional Shadows.
And Doom and Gloom is going to time out there, but Areas again, 1 versus 3. Can he recreate Zaphish's magic? Cymax actually not
the God break knee. This is not looking very good. The
beautiful
tech chase.
Beautiful tech chase and follow-up.
The style to finish it off. Well played. That is a very hard tech chase to do. Notoriously difficult. Blitz. Nice.
But still, Ugly Intentions, as mentioned, will be able to pull through and get a win here, and that was really important for them because
they're still in now.
Yeah.
They still have a shot.
There's one more 3 versus 3 round.
The one to end it all. Definitely answering back. Perhaps figuring out a method of playing that works for them, that works against Legion as well. Perhaps Zaphish's confidence waning a little bit after that 1 versus 1. Not as confident as he was before.
Perhaps, but again, Legion does have a little more leeway, has a little more room when it comes to their sets, having just another shot as well, of course, to still make it out through the winner's side of the bracket. But Ugly Intentions' answer so far, really, really good as well.
Yes, making us once again remember that they certainly do deserve to be here. And perhaps also a bad day when they lost against Bad Intentions. It's entirely possible that they could have won.
It was a really close series, so you never know, especially when, once again, it's awesome to finally see these players in a LAN setting, seeing how they can perform on stage. And so far, I gotta say, judging by the performance, their confidence is definitely not too shattered by some of the pressure you might be feeling.
They still can definitely close it out for themselves.
And of course, once again, a lot on the line here for both of these teams, and it's not only the cash prize here. Having secured that first place spot, having secured a slot in the EU regional finals, it's going to be huge.
It is definitely going to be huge. And second place is also no slouch. 500 fighting points is actually quite a lot, and can also definitely see a lot of people going through to the regionals. Once again, the exact same opener again. Destroyer, Dude, Country Master Zaphish.
And we'll see if Zaphish can have a better time during his opener, as so far already looking really good. Gust was used by Mr. Dude, and now with the Typhoon. Oh, follow-up actually not gonna be good, and that's not gonna be looking great for Mr. Dude as he gets launched up into the air off of the Smite and actually used Tremor.
Coming out. Zaphish is actually taking a lot of damage, but very patient with his second win. Knowing that Brother Bill will come in and save him a bit there. Oh,
Rising Dragon actually coming through, but still, Empathy with the follow-up will force his opponent to tag out, and Areas is going to be up next for Legion Esports.
Now this matchup is also the double launch from both Familiars. That was pretty cool.
Both Familiars wanting to keep their masters alive, and well as Cymax so far coming out on top during this neutral game. Sanctum, of course, being popped by Areas. He's down.
Attacking into Sea Shroud again.
Ooh, tries to go in with a pet follow-up with a Q, but so far not going to be successful. With Mr. Dude coming in, Areas already at 46%. Time Warp was actually expended, gets at least one wave of reset on those cooldowns, but I'm going to expect him to tag out soon enough.
Okay, he still has his second win. He'll probably want to tag out as soon as that's down. Cymax's true friend iframe is still currently up. The Thrall is now back up for Areas. And the enhanced Seed Shroud from Cymax actually protects him from the imprisoned days.
And finally we see it. Brother Bill is going to come in on over the side. of Legion Esports. And now coming in with the lightning draw.
Cymax has no escape.
To 53%. Oh, but gets the tag out just in time. But that would have been really, really dangerous.
Oh, now he's grabbed.
The grapple.
Forcing that out. He knows it's the restraint grab. He does not want to take that free damage.
You definitely don't want to deal with it, and as a result, Brotherbill going to be able to force a lot out of his opponent. Now, with the turnaround, the slam, the knee is going to force Zaphish to come in over on the side of Legion Esports.
Now, Mr. Doot, 12 seconds on that. Gets a Scorching Strike onto Zaphish after his get-up skill. But now Mr. Doot, the very defensive persistence, using it preemptively to avoid damage and tagging himself out to safety. The True Friend iframe just as Flying Slam lands. Very nice timing from Cymax there.
Zaphish just coming short of those slams.
But no,
that's going to instantly tell Zaphish just nope out of there.
Yeah, having used his backstep there, getting snared is the worst possible outcome.
The Leech. And Temple Leech could be there, but Cymax still is going to be safe for a while. Time Warp is going to give on areas some cooldown resets. Going to get him some health back.
No, Cymax is playing with fire here. He has no escape.
Oh, and the teams both having to come in. The Fighting Spirit was popped over on the side of Zaphish, but still the Stone Shield laying spoiler and keeping Cymax safe.
This is very dangerous for Cymax here, but he does finally tag out. But everything gets caught immediately.
And instantly punished as well off of it, but still has a second win. Should be safe for now. Brotherbill, Maelstrom.
Brotherbill's second win is actually down. This could be potentially very bad. They still have assists on both fronts, but Bill also has an assist on himself. He does not want to die here. The iframe dual strike actually from Empathy.
Interesting choice. Actually whiffs the grapple, but gets the 5-point strike. The save coming in out of Zaphish potentially there. Gets the Rising Dragon, launches him up into the air, and that should set up Brotherbill for some good damage.
Setup. Oh, but he misses the lightning draw!
Not like this, as he doesn't get it. And now with a pull-in, is going to force Mr. Dude to come in, but resources running short on both ends. A lot of
deflects the cat! And Cymax as well!
Cymax getting popped up into the air, but the Familiar coming in to save him with the air launch.
Brotherbill's health just vanished. Half of it just... Oh, wow. And Cymax, of course, as we mentioned before, on that Summoner, several times he has been staring death in the face, and several times he has walked away.
And Brotherbill can still tag out, but no more sits available on both sides. And as a result, this might go down to this. Brotherbill is going to pull him in.
I think this is it for Cymax.
This could be it.
He deflects the cat! He deflects the cat in order to get that last.
Mr. Doom might still answer, however, will get the tag out. As said, one final tag out was still available on the side of Brotherbill, and Legion Esports might have just done it.
A flying slam immediately after countering the drag. Zaphish, he knows this game by this point.
Oh, but the deflect!
Maybe not as well as he thinks.
Still, it is going to be a tough hill to climb over on the side of Ugly Intentions, as it's still a 2v3. Zaphish. Let's have that Ice Guard. It's going to keep him safe for an extra while. We'll pop that Smite. And so far, gets a knockdown fall, but it's going to be good with the Rising Dragon as well, but not again! So many deflects is going to force out the second win.
He might not even have needed to do that, because Bill came in and gave him the Maelstrom. Ooh, and he can't tag out either, so now he's stuck there, but neither player has their escape skills. It does seem like Zaphish to be in a very, very bad spot here. Mr. Duke could end his life. Not for the power slam.
14 seconds still left on that second win, but still gets out of it in time. Ice Guard once again buys Zaphish. Probably enough time, but no. Maybe I spoke too soon. The punish is good with the knee too. 1 second on that second win. Could he get it? He gets it just in time. With the Typhoon coming back up, he's going to get out of there, but no tag outs available as well as assists.
Oh no.
Tap,
oh no. He misses the tech chase.
Stone Shield is popped. Zaphish still has 20 seconds.
The predictions are just shy, unfortunately, for him. Mr. Dude about to be tagged out in 10 seconds. Zaphish in less than 15.
We'll see if both of these teams, or both of these players can stay alive until the set timeout. Of course, Empathy can just tag out as well. Pop's persistence maybe a little too early. Beautifully timed by Zaphish, and now getting tagged out himself.
Actually, a great setup for areas there.
Yeah, was really well executed, and now with the same team being down, Guardian Tempest was used, but the stun
Come on.
is gonna be good.
What is this clown fiesta?
But still, as said, we did see Empathy still have one tag out left.
The
but
ram into throw. Oh dear.
Don't want to see that, but knockdown is gonna be good. And Stone Shield with a time warp. We might see Arias try to finish it right here. Get a count to Mr. Dude.
Oh, the Scorching Strike off of the backstep resist.
Oh, but as
dear.
the announcer just said, we will have assist reset, and this is not looking good for Legion, or rather for Ugly Intentions, as Legion will actually be able to have one extra assist on the side of Zaphish and Brotherbuild, having two members up against that one on Empathy. But both
the persistence
members,
again. Oh my god, he actually gets the deflect.
and both members of Ugly Intentions are really healthy, so they could still do it. 2 minutes, 33 seconds
The
left.
restraint coming out.
But no, Gus is there, back up, and now with the grapple, still Zaphish
The blue buff
in,
coming out.
Stone Shield. Oh,
Mr.
keeps him
Dude in a
safe.
rough spot. Oh, the flying slam doesn't
But
connect.
Arias is low. Typhoon is going to knock him out of the Sanctum. 60% left. Fall will time out soon. And with no assist left on the side of Legion Esports, Arias cannot time out. 17 seconds left. This is going to be a cat and mouse game. And Ugly Intentions might just turn things around. Now with the follow-up, he's not going to get a Tether Blade. I believe was used there. And with the Leech, Arias can he do more? Oh, the assist is going to come in. 5-1 strike. He's going to launch him into the air. 2 seconds. Can he close it out? No!
The auto tag!
10 seconds left on Mr. Dude 2. He's going to get some HP back out of Stone Shield, but I'm just out of breath at this point as Brotherbuild at least going to be able to stay quite healthy for now with the tag out. Once again, assist
this
coming
could
through.
be bad.
Ooh, Empathy.
Mr. Dude,
However,
very timely assist there.
This is so close, Barney.
All right, I think it really is going to go down to the wire now. But Mr. Brother Bill.
No block of blades. No block of blades means bad trouble for Bill. And the damage is still good. Air launch as well. No assist as well as tag out. Brotherbuild
His
still
lightning
in
draw.
it. 1 minute, 6 seconds. Guardian Tempest return lightning draw is the choice. Guardian Tempest coming out of Empathy as well. And with that, things are not looking up for Brotherbuild.
Brotherbuild actually on the losing end of things here, but the SS dual strike not actually hitting Brotherbuild there, and now Arias coming in. The time warp.
In time, Typhoon, maybe time warp a bit wasted there. A bit too aggressive on the side of Legion. And as a result, Empathy still here. And 46 seconds left on that timer, Barney. This is really close.
Just Zaphish remaining with that one assist who can actually help. Maybe Bill will be able to get one off with, what, 8 seconds remain when he gets automatically tagged out.
It's going to come down to damage if the timer runs out. So as said, the grapple, the fan grip is going to get
Beautiful avoid that.
dodged. Oh man, and with that, Brotherbuild still safe. And gets the lightning draw. The follow-up is there, but the assist out of Zaphish is going to keep him safe. And with that,
Empathy.
19 seconds though, Barney.
The flying slam! Yes, and the blue buff as well! Oh my god, the
this could
lightning
be it.
draw!
Brotherbuild with lightning draw. Bye, Empathy. You're out. 10 seconds left. Can they close it out? 8 seconds.
Fury!
But Arias gets destroyed by the Fury. What is this? Mr. Dude still alive. 1 second left with the Fury spinning, or rather with the Typhoon.
Oh god, here comes the score.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know who did more damage, Barney.
Ooh.
Who is it?
Oh my god!
It's Ugly
And it's Ugly
Intentions.
Intentions!
They take an Ugly Intentions with a just mind-blowing turnaround. I
can't even. I have lost the ability to even.
Oh my word, what a beautiful way to end our first series of the night. This has been probably my favorite series of Blade and Soul I've ever seen, Barney.
We thought the invitational one was like intense between Bad Intentions and Ugly Intentions. This was something else. This was like
On a whole nother level.
What was that? That was mad. And it looked like Legion were actually poised to maybe take that win at the very end there, but when it came down to damage, somehow Legion out-healed the summoner.
Well, to be fair,
he did
Cymax did die pretty early in that particular set, so...
Well,
oh man.
Just goes to show when it goes down to the wire, you can never be too sure of who is going to be the victor, but damn, that was awesome.
Oh yeah, and what I think it comes down to is just that slight edge when it comes to using those assists and those tagouts more effectively. I think personally that's what won them the game. But just looking back at it again, just Empathy super dominant in that first 1v1, but not before Zaphish, having some beautiful potential return answers and just close it out in a timely fashion, of course. And oh, what a beautiful, beautiful series, Barney.
Very, very much so. This was very hectic, I'd say. They with the matchups that they had, they knew what was coming their way, and they optimized for it as best they could. Even after that initial very rocky 3v3 that they had on the side of Ugly Intentions, they remained calm. They kept their composure. They thought, right, what can we do next? And they acted upon it. And even while losing 2 members of their team, once again having Mr. Duke be the ever persistent one, pardon the pun, they still managed to win on damage. And it wasn't actually that much more damage, to be fair, only about 40,000 or so.
And
definitely
of course,
attainable.
Once again, big shout outs to Zaphish for also pulling up such a beautiful set in that first 3 versus 3, and that was amazing to watch as well. And overall, just I'm pretty much at a loss for words.
Showing everyone that, once again, you should never assume too much what one's class is capable of, and rather you should focus on what the player is known for.
Oh yeah, and it seems like our players are ready for the winner's interview, so Maggie, take it away.
All right, I'm here. Oh my goodness, that was intense. You guys were able to break Legion Esports. They had not even lost a single set. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good, actually. Even despite the last match, Cymex dying pretty early, we managed to pull through, me and Empathy, with good teamwork and just coordination.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Now, I do want to mention something now that you mentioned Cymex. The casters were kind of talking smack about your 3v3 play. So what do you have to say about that, other than obviously that last match? Maybe you were kind of like taking a little rest there?
Yeah, I'm kind of bad, but I played kind of bad, but I will try next time to play better.
All right. Well, I think you did pretty good at moving on early on. So now that you guys have broken Legion Esports win streak here, who do you think is going to beat? Who do you want to beat, or who do you think you're going to be matched up in the next match with?
Honestly, I hope we're matched up against Peter or Maxim, because it would be very interesting to fight them, because we actually never fought them before, because they're a new team for the Wildcard, and they're they're actually team members of other teams that combined to come together here. So it would be nice to actually fight them.
What about a grunge match, though?
I don't know, dude. This was kind of close. I don't know if we want to fight him again.
You want an easy win? Is that what you're trying to say?
Maybe.
All right, we'll give you guys a little bit of a break. Thank you guys so much. These guys are going to be moving on to the grand finals. So take a little rest, watch the next match, and we're going to be coming back to you guys in a moment with another video.
Remember when this squirt used the Twilight's edge to open the dark gate? Remember that?
And welcome back, everyone, to the Blade and Soul European Wildcard Tournament. Once again, my name is Brinj, joined by Barney. And after that particular series, it's just, oh man, we're up for some really exciting sets tonight, Barney.
I sincerely hope so. They've set the bar pretty high in terms of entertainment value. So, well, with the next teams coming up,
it is going to be Legion Esports. Once again, since they got knocked out for the first time in the losers side of the bracket for our second semifinals, which will be up against Maxim Pride.
Yes.
So the true wildcard team here.
Indeed.
As they're a ragtag of mercenaries, you could call them.
Perhaps with the way that they drift here and there on various teams with various players.
It's really interesting, especially because you have Coloriz, who came into the first few ESL community tournaments that were online. Of course, only 1v1s back then when Blade and Soul was just starting out in the West, and all of them that he participated in, he just won. So after that, just seen him disappear from the scene, not really play or participate rather in tournaments, and
just being on the sidelines. But he's always watched. He's
Yeah.
always aware of who's good and who to look out for.
And
Very
of
cautious player.
And of course, he did make the swap over from the scary summoner that he was playing back then, which was considered
the level
probably
45 patch
to,
times. Wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful times indeed.
back then. And now we'll expect him to see on the Destroyer. I'd say it's very safe, a very safe bet.
His Destroyer is probably his most in practice and definitely one of his most feared.
Especially right now. But with that being said, who knows? These players still have time to decide which classes they're going to choose, which classes they're going to pick. And we might see some spicy changes, if you will.
We may indeed. His other teammates are also nothing to scoff at. Intro being also from the very beginning of the Western launch of BNS. Force Master is whole just through and through. And now finally that Force Master has become strong class. It seems like
A true
they are
master of the Force
indeed.
in the current patch. And right now, considering how strong they can be, it is going to be really scary, especially in those 1v1 matchups, because, okay, while the free versus free setups are what matter the most, where you really get to see each team's just coordination and amount of effort they put in to win it all, because free versus frees are definitely way tougher to get good at than just the straight up 1v1 matchup.
Plus, you can still get a fairly good lead with a couple 1v1 wins. They may be worth fewer points, but a lead is a lead. You're not really going to pass that up.
Even though, with that being said, a lead might not actually matter, because we just saw Ugly Intentions turn it 180,
Yeah.
and oh man.
You can never count. I don't think you can count any one of these players out.
At
They're
this
all-
point, that's safe to say, for sure. And of course, over on the side of Legion Esports, we have once again Brother Bill, Zaphish, Areas. Just seen him, and we'll expect to see Coloriz open up versus Brother Bill, Destroyer versus Blade Dancer, and we talked a bit about that matchup prior in the previous series rather. And judging by how Brother Bill handled Mr. Dude, how do you think Coloriz is gonna fare up against him?
I think Colorized will. I think he's quite observant, so he will have picked up on things that worked, things that didn't work. He may just say, you know, I'm not going to use traditional things. I might do something absurd, like using the damage Ember Stomp. And, I mean, it's worked before, so it might work again.
And that's the beautiful thing for this Maxim Pride team, is the fact that since they're a bit of a wildcard team, of course, they have a lot to gain and not as much to lose. So they're going to be coming in with a lot of potential for really interesting choices and strategies.
Indeed, they don't even necessarily need to be particularly cautious because, as you said, everything to gain, well, not really anything to lose.
And of course, already coming this far into the tournament means that they played really well. They have a lot of individual talent, but the question still remains as to how well they will be able to perform in that free versus free environment.
I feel we also have shouldn't forget the third member of Maxim Pride, which is Enel on his Blade Master, the only one of his kind with us today. And as we have perhaps not quite been able to see in the Invitationals. He is definitely also an exceptional player, but I think that also is a testament to how good he is. The fact that he was focused down so very heavily during the Invitationals by Team Bad Intentions. They knew that he was dangerous. They knew how much he could bring to the team, especially in those very crucial 3 versus 3s, and so they strived to delete him as quickly as possible. And I think if Legion wants to have a good shot in those 3 versus 3s against this particular team, they should strive to do the same.
And when it comes to the opener, when we'll get to the 3 versus 3 setup, I would of course expect to have the likes of Coloriz on that Destroyer, open up things for the side of Maxim Pride, and over on red for Legion Esports. What is your prediction?
I think perhaps Zaphish might still be a go-to option. Kung Fu Master opener is, as mentioned before, very safe, very good. The Ice Guard currently at 30 meters range. You can't really have an opener if you're already frozen when the match begins. But on the other hand, he has opened up every single 3v3 for them in the previous series, so he might be like, you can do this time.
Especially after such a impressive first showing.
Oh yeah, that was. He definitely has. If there were any doubts about him as a player, or even Kung Fu Master as a class, they should be gone by now. Incredibly high skill ceiling, but these players are capable.
And when it comes to the side of Maxim Pride, who do you think could be a potential bigger X factor here? Would you count Intro as a potential bigger X factor just because he's playing that Force Master, which most people in the current patch have really strong opinions on?
That is certainly one way of putting it. Intro could definitely be a wild card. We got one. Because of the strength, as you mentioned, the current strength of Force Master, it can definitely be very, very strong, being able to act as both an offensive assist and a defensive one. Frost Sheath to save their teammates, and indeed if he also gets Divine Veil off before they're frozen, but the attacks keep coming in, you may have just healed your opponent for more than half their health without even realizing.
And that can definitely be a big danger here. And in the past, especially Warlocks, when it comes to them facing off against Force Masters when they were first introduced in the West, they were really struggling, but at this point, definitely think while Force Masters are looking really, really strong, it's a tough one to call.
It is indeed. We'll have to wait and see how Intro handles the Warlock matchup. And additionally, Enol as well. I think that in 1v1s, not even necessarily just because Enol himself is a good player, but Blade Master, which we haven't yet seen today at the Wildcard. As everyone knows, Blade Master's Soaring Falcon is incredibly obnoxious.
Oh yeah.
And incredibly powerful as well. Pulling you in from range, it's completely unblockable, 3-second stun, and it gives them an attack power boost. Yeah, that's fine.
And you know what, Barney? I heard Dragon Tongue damage is still okay, you know? Especially after that Soaring Falcon.
It's reasonable.
Yeah, totally reasonable.
It's fine. I'd say it's okay.
Especially when we look back at the Invitational, we've seen players like Luki just destroy as well with
Luke,
it. So, on top of that, you also were saying before the broadcast that you think Blade Master provide a better save compared to Blade Dancer just because of their Divine Shield compared to the Maelstrom?
Indeed, Winged Protector, for those that aren't aware, you might think at a glance that it has, it seems like a slightly worse version of the 5-for-5 resists, like Guardian Tempest from Blade Dancer or Bastion from Warlock. Indeed, you only get 3 resists, but the timer resets on every single one, which means that the Blade Master could potentially remain safe himself for almost 15 seconds. And indeed, when he uses it on his teammates, they become completely untargetable, in addition to having the resists and having their debuffs removed.
And as we are seeing right now, some sweet replays over that last series, it was such a nail-biter. It was extremely close, of course. Both of these teams playing their hearts out. It was one way to put it.
It was so very... There was a lot of skill, a lot of Clown Fiesta moments. There were so many deflects in this series, and all of it coming down to the final moments, a timeout, and miraculously the team with fewer players ended up winning on damage.
And
That being Ugly Intentions.
And it was a really, really interesting turn of events because that timing on Zaphish with that fighting spirit almost made sure that Brother Bill gets the kill not only on Empathy but also Mr. Dude. But as you mentioned, Mr. Dude once again being the hero Ugly Intentions needed, but maybe not necessarily deserved in that part.
But he was there, and he certainly held out for as long as he could, even getting a return kill onto areas just before the timer ran out.
Spinning for his life here, making sure he was still safe, well, and alive. And, you know, usually I dislike timeouts, but this one was just such a close one. Was
very, very close. A truly nail-biting finish.
And, of course, now as players are getting ready, starting things off, it's going to be Colorized opening up versus Brother Bill, Destroyer once again up versus Blade Dancer, and alongside just the fact that Destroyer, in this case Colorized, is probably going to run Persistence.
We can't count it out. The chance.
At the small chance that Colorized is considering the Fury buff, the more aggressive route to say the least.
Well, we'll see.
You think it could actually pay off, because we've seen of course, players like Mr. Dude use it to pull off some unconventional strats, like killing the Thrall right at the start up against the Warlock, which historically has been a bad matchup for Destroyers. Now that it's a Blade Dancer, would it make as much sense?
It might, actually. The activation period of Fury is also an iframe, and it also removes any chill effects. So if you've been stuck by Soaring Falcon, for instance, and you can't use, say, Blitz or Ram, press Fury and you're fine. He could even use it to perhaps dodge the Soaring Falcon, because even though it's unblockable, the Blade Dancer is still animation locked during it. So if he manages to do if he does go Fury, of course, he activates Fury, avoids the Soaring Falcon, jumps in with Blitz, and that could be the end of it.
Of course, over on the side of Blade Dancer, they will have a few extra tools to stall out for that all-important cooldown in that Tapscape in that second wind, as well as just in this particular matchup, having those flock of blades, making sure that Empathy can actually get out of those grapples will be really good. But there's going to be Intro versus Areas instead. Wizard battles, Barney.
Wizard battles. Well, we might yet see the Destroyer versus Blade Dancer, but for now, we're going to have to settle for ranged battles.
And over on the side of Legion Esports, Areas in red on that Warlock now will be able to use that Thrall, get himself safe for now with the grapple. Actually found a grip. Really beautiful execution coming out of Intro, but the Sanctum is going to still be there. Veil will time out shortly, but so far Areas still looking pretty good. Does have that fall up for a couple of seconds, uses that Time Warp instantly, and Intro says nope. Pops that Frost Armor.
Intro knows to save that for the time distortion. He knows that if he doesn't, it could be the end of him, especially with Veil down. But now,
but Bastion is going to keep Areas safe, and with that, the return damage is going to be really good. Even without the Thrall, you can't count out Areas just yet.
There's the Veil again.
Oh, air launch!
But he
actually,
out of it. Why?
Gets the air launch, and with that, Intro is going to drop really low, 27% now.
No escapes for him just yet. 2 seconds on his back step.
Oh.
Gets the
man,
oh,
this is looking disastrous for Intro at this point. We'll be able to stay safe for an extra while, but for how long? That is the true question. Inferno gonna hit, but not too much damage. The Leech is there. This should be it. Areas takes a clean first round victory.
A perfect victory, actually. He was 100% health at the end of that. I mean,
well,
you know, he took a bit of damage.
He took a bit of damage, healed back
but
up with Bastion, but yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it was a perfect victory. That was very strange, bit questionable to put the Veil up and then leave the Veil. Even if the Warlock runs away from you, you still have those 15 seconds of protection guaranteed, and it also heals you, if only a little per tick. Why you would even want to think about leaving and potentially getting leeched and launched into the air like he was, it's not good.
And that's the big thing. While Force Masters do have quite a few tools, of course, to stall out for few of those precious cooldowns and just make sure they turn things around in their favor. Just like you mentioned, fortunately for Intro, having walked out of that veil means that he will go down to a very dominant first round or first set performance coming out of Areas, and of course once again Areas proving why his one of the top players, one of the top warlocks over here in EU.
He's coming for you, Tanner. What I'm kind of questioning is why. Maybe he didn't get a chance to use it, or maybe he decided not to use it at all. But the Frostburst coming out of Forcemaster is a very effective tool to stall people out, especially in the Warlock matchup. Especially if they go into Sanctum, you can simply strafe into Frost mode, press Z, use Frostburst, and now if you don't force their second wind, you've bought yourself enough time for the Sanctum to go away. A bit strange, but
it was a bit peculiar. And one other thing that I found interesting was the fact that in their previous sets today, Maxim Pride actually never used Intro in their 1v1s until the very end. So going out with him as the starter is really interesting to me.
Well, we can't be certain of the reasoning behind these decisions, but it was a bit of a shame. Perhaps one or two mistakes meant the match. But now we'll be moving on to the next one, and as we discussed, it will be the Destroyer versus Blade Dancer matchup. Coloriz versus Brother Bill.
And no iframe for Red Fury here.
Sadly.
As the round will start already. Actually, Brother Bill, beautifully well done.
Very aggressive start.
That's the
ground game.
Oh, gets the
wow.
grapple by Coloriz. You're out of your Emperor's Stomp, and with that, drops him down low, and Brother Bill launches him up into the air and already looking really confident.
Oh, that's gonna hit.
Oh, forces the persistence and instantly dodges it, but this is Coloriz's time to shine. He needs to answer. Second wind as well as Flock of Blades will be there. Maelstrom is gonna keep him safe for an extra while.
The Searing Strike just barely avoiding that.
Phantom Grip is there.
This looks bad. Gust in 3 seconds for Coloriz.
Oh my god! But no, it might not just be enough still though. Answers has the Gust. Guardian Tempest was there with
this
that.
is bad.
This should be it, Brother Bill.
No, take flight! The CC ended just before he managed to get the launch off.
Oh, unfortunate, and with that, can he do it? I don't think so, because Brother Bill still has his second win. As long as he gets his opponent out of that Ember Stomp, maybe it's just gonna be enough. Swing Strike still used, actually gets the air launch into the pile driver, buying Coloriz that much more time when it comes to cooldowns. Typhoon used really well.
He does land the Soaring Falcon.
He
does land it, but now the focus region has stopped.
And it's 23% HP against 34, and oh man, can he do it? Actually,
a bit of a strange backstab there.
Interestingly done, but with the Guardian Tempest being there, the follow-up is actually going to be countered by the Persistent. Second wind is still available. Incredible, you need to use it, but no, still has it up. That could be it with the pull, with the air launch. Is it going to be enough? He's going to drop it to 30%,
no lightning draw.
But no lightning draw, and he still has his tab escape, so this is going to come down to it.
The ground
Gets
game!
It.
Yes! Brother Bill obviously known for his impeccable ground game, but that was something else. That was theatrical.
But still,
sublime.
Still props to Coloriz for bringing it back in his favor at some point.
Indeed, it did look at one point to be kind of a turnaround as soon as he had wasted both, or rather wasted, a bit of a strong term. After he'd used both Gust and his Persistence, he got Gust up back again, and he used it in such a way that it forced Brother Bill to change what he was doing. And there was a point where he had both Gust and Persistence back up quite a ways into the match. But a bit of a, again, not being able to use the Persistence in quite the way that he wanted to. Blade Dancer quite readily being able to abuse the fact that Persistence can't be used if you're knocked down. And so, with the amount of knockdowns that a Blade Dancer does have, with Boot, Soaring Falcon, Ankle Biter, and even if you're doing a ground counter, you can just dive bomb them again. So, yeah, definitely playing to his strengths. Brother Bill showing again why he is, well, rank 1 BD.
And the interesting thing is, of course, when you have that second win available, when you're up against someone like a Destroyer, you want to be really, or just in general, you want to be really careful as to when you use it. You want to get an advantage off of it if possible, because once you use it, if you don't get a counter CC of days off of it, that could just spell doom right then and there. And sometimes you'll see players just sacrifice HP in favor of potentially getting a better opening off of it.
Yeah, but indeed, it's not always worth it. If the amount of health you lose is too great, you might not get a second chance to use your second wind. But now we will be heading into our first 3v3 of this series between Maxim Pride and Legion Esports.
And of course, as we said, for the side of Legion Esports, we would expect Zaphish to start things out for them. But in the side of Maxim Pride, would you say it's still most likely going to be Coloriz?
I'd probably say so, yeah. They would want to keep their two savers, their two best savers as well. Keeping Enol safe will be a fairly high priority because ideally he can save you with Wing Protector, and given how good it is, it wouldn't be too surprising. But you also want him to come in when the enemy doesn't have their second wind, use that Soaring Falcon, pull them right in. Even if it's just Soaring Falcon and Searing Slash, that is, if neither of those crit, that is still a large amount of health that you will be losing.
Oh yeah.
So definitely something to look out for, definitely something to be wary of. And indeed, he can do all three of those at the same time. He can put Wing Protector for himself and his team, and then throw out the Soaring Falcon, and all of a sudden, you're really not in a good spot if you have to tab escape that.
If not dead, you could say, sometimes, off of a Soaring Falcon.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But still, once again, with that being said, just let us know, who do you think is actually going to pull through and win it all tonight? Of course, join the discussion. And once again, at this point, it's a really tough one to call, but if Legion Esports take it, they're going to be looking to have their revenge once again.
That will be definitely very interesting to see. But at the same time, I kind of want to see what Maxim Pride will be like against Ugly Intentions. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We will see what happens.
Of course, this is where it really starts to matter even more so, because having more points awarded to your team with those 3 versus 3, 2 points respectively, means that one of these teams can pull out ahead, or in this case, of course, equalize it. So for the side of Maxim Pride, so it's going to be really important for them to show us what they got right here, right now.
Indeed, it will. Show us that you deserve to be here. Show us that you want to continue on, and that, you know, worlds. So yeah, we're cultivating talent here. Regardless of whether you win or lose, as long as you learn something from it, you are more the better.
Of course, especially since this is their first time at a LAN tournament setting, this is going to be exceptional, or just really good experience for these players here, and we're going to take this experience with them and bring their A game, especially during the regionals.
I hope so. But given what we've seen so far, I would not be surprised if we see more of the same. The previous series has been just phenomenal.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and of course we'll have both of these teams ready to go as the round will start, and it's going to be Intro on the side of Maxim Pride to kick things off here.
But again, Zaphish starting off for Legion, so clearly he likes to be the leading man.
Oh, already with the assist being forced out of Legion Esports.
That Force Blast catching the tail end of the iframe of Backstep.
Oh, and now with the Frost Burst, doesn't really get anything off of it. Zaphish gonna get the air launch and gonna be looking pretty good. Ooh, but Tab Escape actually used by Intro will even pop the Frost Armor, maybe a bit too overeager, and once again giving me deja vu, getting out of those veils, but Zaphish, can you do a good follow-up here?
Oh, that was very, very good for Zaphish to have agility there. That backstep into Force Blast could have been very bad for him, but now actually it's quite bad for him with Coloriz just going to town on him. The knee tech chase as well, forcing Zaphish to use the second wind and peace out of there.
And now, of course, with Arias in the fray, means Coloriz is going gonna potentially be a big danger,
Not again.
but gets the stun. And now with the Typhoon, it's gonna go in, but Thrall, Sanctum also being popped.
Scorching Strike coming soon.
Oh, he actually used Tether Blade, not really getting anything out of it there, I believe. And
Perhaps
with
using the
that,
wrong version.
That could be it, but now with the grapple being good, it's gonna force the escape out of areas, but now with the time warp air launch, Coloriz, goodbye. You're down to 50% HP, barely stays alive. Enel,
Thank
coming
God for
in
Wing
to
Protect.
save the day. Oh, but no.
Denying him the heal as well with the guard break areas. Just, wow. Colorized already at a very, very bad spot. And it might even be too dangerous for him to use his assist now, but intro.
With being launched up into the air, Pet trying to go in, but in return, Areas gets launched up as well. However, Bertabil being in with the assist means that Intro's not going to find any other opener.
But
for
both
now.
his escapes are down. He has to play incredibly carefully or tag out, but I'm not sure he wants to. Areas, however, does still have his type of escape.
And he still has his Leech too, so a lot of damage could come in for the side of Legion Esports. So Intro could be in big trouble. So far, still safe for now, but as said, even without the Thrall,
Divine Veil.
oh, but gets him out of it, I believe. But now with the air launch, can he get enough damage? Ooh, but Colorized comes in with the assist, keeps him safe.
Oh, no! What is it today with the deflects?
Well, there may be just a strong point, Barney, as Bredaville is going to be the swap on the side of Legion Esports. But now with the grapple, things might be looking really rough, really tough for Intro. Does use the second win.
Oh, into the wall, but he decides to get out of there very, very quickly. Enel might be forced to second win here. Oh, my God!
It might have just matter still. Able to stay alive now, 18%. Now feels back up with that shield and oh man, Bredaville back in, but assists galore for the side.
Pride, this is not good for you. They're all so very low, but they all have a lot of assists, and they're all afraid to use them because they might just get blown up instantly.
Zaphish doesn't have any assists on the side of Legion Esports, but the rest of the members have it, and as a result, with the grapple, Colorized.
We does manage to get one hit in of the 1-2 punch.
Oh, in the nick of time, somehow still alive, still spinning away, trying desperately to stay alive, but actually gets the grapple, forces the escape, dodges the leech with the SS there,
And
I believe.
deflects the Thrall stun. Wow.
Oh, but Ares is not done just yet. Uses that time warp, and now with the potential save with that Ice Flower coming in out of Intro, we'll see what he can do, but Enel is in on the side of Maxim.
It is important to note that Frost Sheath and Stone Shield do not stack. You cannot use both of them.
And now Ares will have his for all time out for now. Sanctum still there. Second win available for him, and he's still chipping away at his opponent. Enel doesn't get the days follow-up, and so far not looking too hot for him.
Perhaps hoping to knock him away with the Flock of Blades, instead knocking him back into the wall. There's the Zed, the Soaring Falcon.
But it's the damage there. Doesn't quite seem to be, and with the second win, it means that Enel's gonna just tag out.
Now with no tag outs on the side of Maxim Pride, but with a bunch of assists, if Intro dies here, this could be disastrous.
But he do have those assists, so they need to do something. It doesn't matter. Intro just being blown up, and
oh God, with the deflects again, the Scorching Strike.
oh, but manages to tag out. Of course, no more assists on the side of Legion, except for Areas, where he still has two. Might see him come in. Up next, Coloriz still trying to do something here. Uses that Typhoon. Doesn't really get anything out of it just yet. Areas actually will be back in, even though that was the last tag out for Bredaville. Oh, Zaphish though will be able to come in.
Trying to do his best to assist there. Wing Protector still up on Colorize for a little bit longer, but it's just about gone. Perfect timing from Ares.
The air launch,
Oh
the
God,
time
he's not even
warp.
going to let him do anything. That was disgusting.
Areas now once again healing back up off of that Bastion 2. Will look to secure the victory here for Legion Esports. Gets the air launch. Enel's down to 3%. Can he do something here? Still alive for now. 4% HP. Make that free. And now still dancing around. Bastion up for Areas, but it doesn't matter.
The unblockable Rupture will seal the deal.
And with that, another 2 points on the side of Legion Esports.
Legion have just... I don't think that anybody really expected this. When people looked at the brackets for the Invitational and they saw them being knocked out by...
Ugly Intentions in the end.
Actually, yeah. And they thought, well, you know, they got knocked out relatively early, so they're probably not that great, but just goes to show what first impressions can be like.
And that's the unfortunate thing here. If you're going to face a team like Ugly Intentions that early on in a bracket, you know, it might not just be that you're not a potential top 3 contender, but rather that, hey, sometimes never lucky.
But that was a perhaps a little less exciting because of how dominant it was. But Ares showing himself to be Deflect King and also the guy who gets deflected. There are too many deflects, I think. But hey, it's working for some, not so much for others.
And so far, once again, it's looking really bad currently for Maxim. But still, they're not out of it just yet. They need to win the next, at least one of the next 1v1s. If they lose any of the next 1v1s, they're out.
They seem to be pretty jovial still. They don't seem too distraught by that. They probably think, well, we still have a shot. We can still definitely pull this back. And it would be unwise to assume otherwise.
And of course, coming up next, it will be Enel versus Zaphish, I believe. So Blade Master versus Kung Fu Master. What do you think about that one?
I think most people do agree that this is ever so slightly in favor of the Blade Master, but the Zaphish has definitely shown himself to be exceptional here. Lots of things to look out for, but if you actually look on the side of Enel, he seems to be using the Lightning build.
And Blade Call can definitely come through, but so far, he's going to be knocked up into the air. Things already looking pretty grim for him.
Ooh.
Beautiful follow-up. Smite relaunching him once again, and with the Flying Slam, make that a third. The hat-trick coming out of the side of Zaphish now with the
beautiful reaction to the second win there. Enel perhaps in a very, very bad spot here.
But at least I don't think he gave away the fact that he has Lightning Bill now. What are the rest of the moves? He finally shows his hand. And with that,
not yet. He's waiting.
Waiting for his time to strike.
Wow, he has gone really old school Lightning build.
Super old school, and so far, maybe, just maybe, not too shabby as it's still working out for him.
He's actually gotten more damage.
Oh! It's gonna come out, but no. Zaphish still manages to stay alive for now. Second win is actually gonna be back up for Enel, so maybe, just maybe, Barney, he turned it around. Actually, that's the daze, but no follow-up.
He's looking for it. Oh, but Zaphish gets there first with the flurry.
And now, with the tremor, is gonna force out the tap skip out of Enel. He needs to do something here. He's playing very cautious, but
if he had more opportunity to deal damage off of that 3-second daze, that would have been
he's really scared though. He's really scared of that cooldown things. It's back up, and it's just gonna be back up right now. With ankle by the Rising Dragon too, this could be really bad. 15 seconds left on Enel's tab escape. So Flying Slam is gonna relaunch it, but can he close it out?
Perseverance buying him probably just enough time.
Ooh, straight for rounds. Smooth moves coming out of Enel. Can he keep it up still? The Lightning VM Dream still lives. And he's 1% rising. Gets
finished off by the second win.
Second win is it for the finisher, but
mad props to Enel. That was to come in with ye old Lightning build from like level 45 patch. And to actually almost win with it when no one was expecting it, I think that is exceptional. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll see him play it in the coming 3v3s.
But the big question with that, Barney, is still now that Legion won another 1v1, they're up 5 points, meaning that if they win the next 1v1, they secure their spot and their chance at a rematch versus Ugly Intentions. So.
Indeed, it is certainly looking good for them.
Maxim Pride needs to choose really wisely which player they're going to send out.
It might be... Enel actually did do very well there. I'm not sure. I'm not so certain how well Blade Cool might do against the Warlock, given that Warlock's retreat is 10 meters as opposed to, you know, 4. But against Kung Fu Master, it was pretty okay. I think Zaphish also knows exactly how to deal with Wing Protector. It's 3 resists, and Ice Guard, the activation of Ice Guard, which is unblockable, counts as 2. So you actually get rid of 2 charges instantaneously. He then went back around behind Enol, punched him once, and then instantly followed up with a Comet Strike or with the Rising Dragon.
And it was just beautifully executed. And unfortunately for Enol, if somehow if he had just a little bit more health, even with that second win off of that Soaring Falcon, maybe, just maybe, the dream could have been kept alive. But
he actually stood still at the very end there when he had 1%. I think he must have also thought, oh, I'm dead. And I was like, oh, wait, hang on, I'm not dead yet.
And another thing is, I also feel that he mistimed the second win out of Zaphish. He played a little bit too careful.
Definitely. I think
if he would have been a bit more aggressive, he probably could have sealed the deal and closed it out.
Yes, I think he definitely underestimated the damage that comes out of Searing Palm alone. Searing Palm, of course, takes for a reasonable amount of damage on its own, but it also enhances the damage of Cyclone Kick. And it only takes 1 or 2 Cyclone Kicks in that whole you know, shenanigan that was the Kung Fu Master combo to do that. But it will be the Force Master versus Blade Dancer matchup.
So it is going to be intro once again on the side of Maxim Pride. Remember, they need to get this win here to stay alive in the tournament, as so far it's not looking good. Already popping that second win, pulls him out too. Ankle Biter will connect, and oh man, this is looking disastrous for intro.
This is grim. This is pretty grim. But he will have his backstep in 1 second, and
Lightning
he will
draw.
look to use it.
It's gonna come out, and
the Dragon Well missing. That's not good.
Frost Armor already used too, so at this point, intro is running really low on resources.
But this should hopefully help him stall enough. He cancels it early, actually, but now straight into the Frost Sheath, which he probably will. Oh, the prediction Ankle Biter and the roll catch with the Phantom Grip. Brother Phil dancing in joy.
As so far, he's just so confident, so aggressive, and just paying off as we now see him pop Guardian Tempest going in with the 5-point strike. Brother Bill playing it really cautiously too, on top of it, knowing his limits.
Avoiding everything that comes. And now, with this, the backstep is still available for intro, but...
Oh, instantly punished off of the reflex roll, and with that, Brother Bill still gonna lose some HP, but can he close it out?
Unbelievable! Backstep of the Force Blast.
Just Brother Bill playing out of his mind, looking to make a comeback in the next series, because at this point, Legion secure their win and secure their chance at a rematch.
Well played. That was actually really, really cool. The fact that he got hit by Frost Tornado, which means that, okay, now I can't spin for the next 4 seconds. What do? I use both my strafes, wait a bit, backstep of predicting the Force Blast and actually avoiding it successfully meant that intro had nothing left. He had no second wind, he had no backstep. Next time he gets caught by the unblockable Soaring Falcon, that's over.
And still, with that being said, really well played over from the side of Maxim Pride. Some props to them making it this far and having some really good individual players themselves.
Indeed.
Will be exciting to see what they can do in the future, but Legion's practice and just coordination as well as individual performance paying off really, really well for them.
It does seem that the 1v1s did play a key role after all. However close they might have been in some cases, and however far apart they might have been in others.
But with that being said, we're going to see another matchup between Legion and Ugly Intentions. So, judging by that last one, I'm already really scared of how my vocal cords are going to handle this.
Same.
But at the same time, I just am super excited to see what Legion can do to pull it back in their favor, because at this point, not only do they need to win the next series, but since it's a double elimination format for the tournament, it means that they need to win twice. So they need to make sure they bring out their A game. It's going to be tough, but you will have tournament fatigue possibly coming in too.
I do think, well, for both sides actually, so can't necessarily count them out just yet. However, they certainly are objectively at a disadvantage, thanks to the double elimination format here. Having to win twice, 2 series against a team like Ugly Intentions is a daunting task indeed.
And here, as we can see, Brodabil playing really well. Coloriz had a really clutch counter, and unfortunately for them, I do feel that Coloriz played well, but always a bit too of unfortunate starts for him.
Perhaps his unwillingness to participate in online tournaments means that perhaps he's not as in form as he would have liked to have been. But nonetheless, he did still have some pretty good standout moments. Like you said as well, his reaction speed, being able to counter the drain of the Phantom Grip was very nice indeed. And in the threes, he also had a pretty good big opening here. It's just a shame that it all went downhill very quickly.
As we can see, just his HP bar disappearing in an instant in that particular moment. And at this point, it will be Legion get ready on stage for that winner's interview. And once again, I'm really curious to see what they have to say, considering that they've been looking to get that revenge on against Ugly Intentions.
Trash talk on stage.
That's what you want to hear.
Well, it would be interesting, but you know, we'll see how it ends up turning out. I think humble in victory, humble in defeat is a pretty good way to be.
Oh yeah, and it seems like they are indeed ready. So, Maggie, take it away.
All right, I'm here with Legion Esports, who was able to knock them out of the tournament. How does that feel? I mean, you guys had that momentum and you just kept it going.
Yeah, it feels really good. We just won the first round and then we just continued winning. We got like the more confidence and we just played really well.
It's a clean sweep. So going into the next match, you are going to be going up against, that battle against Ugly Intentions was pretty intense. What are your guys' plans looking forward into that next match in the grand finals?
We practiced a lot and it was really close last time. So I think, I don't know, not sure.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I think we're going to be more warmed up now and we're definitely going to come back in the next match.
Yeah, I think we have to try really hard. Warlock is a weak class, so I have to outplay like a lot. So yeah, but we will try, even though the road is tough.
All right, the road is tough, but these guys were able to clean sweep their last match. And we're going to be moving into our grand finals, where Legion Esports will be going up against Ugly Intentions. We'll be right back after this video break.
and welcome back once again to the Blatant Soul European Wildcard Tournament. My name is Bernch, joined by Barney, and we have our revenge match.
Yes, indeed. Legion knocked out by, well, knocked to losers bracket, I should say, by Ugly Intentions near the beginning, and it was a very, very close match. Very exciting, lots of action. And now, having climbed out of the losers bracket, Legion now has their chance to indeed snatch the victory from underneath Ugly Intentions' noses. However, it is going to be challenging for them.
Especially since, I mean, Ugly Intentions said it himself. Mr. Dude said it himself. I'm looking forward to facing them again. So, fortunately for them, but fortunately for Legion, it is going to happen up next. And a lot is, of course, on the line for both of these teams. They want to get that first prize finish. They want to get those cash prizes as well as the secure spot at the European regionals. So we'll see what they can do. Of course, unfortunately for Legion, they need to win 2 match series. So they need to win these next few sets and another round, since, of course, being a double elimination format for our tournament means that Ugly Intentions have a bit of an advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. A bit.
Most assuredly, and this is another thing that can definitely impact the way some of these players play, is the tournament fatigue aspect of it. Having been here for such a long time, played for such a long time, can they keep up the performance?
Indeed, also the pressure coming in for Legion Esports. If they can make it, if they can win the first series and then get onto the second series, then certainly the tournament fatigue will be felt on both sides.
But that could mean that they could snowball it all the way to a victory. So we'll see what happens. Of course, it's looking like Mr. Dude will face off against Brother Bill in that first 1v1. And again, not too surprising. We've seen these two come up against each other in just this matchup in general, starting to get things out for teams.
They might want to try something different. They might want to try to predict when Brother Bill will come in and send Cymex in Mr. Dude's stead. For that matchup, as we've mentioned before, is actually quite a bit more favorable for the Summoner than for the Destroyer.
And of course, you also have the fact that Zaphish is played out of his mind, especially in that first 3 versus 3 series. And now, with the last one being so close, it's almost impossible to tell who will take the first win.
It's certainly going to be exciting, that's for sure.
Either way. Oh yeah, and of course, alongside those cash prizes and the fighting points potentially, that letter for that invitation looking in the middle of the stage, looking so good for both of these teams.
That beam of light from the heavens.
The true letter that that every cricket wants to read.
It's true.
And of course, both these teams now getting ready once again. Will be on the blue side. Ugly Intentions. Cymex ready to go, ready to roll. And over in red side, it is going to be once again Legion. So we'll see what both of these teams' approaches will respectively be on the side of the team of Ugly Intentions. Cymex still having a giggle there. Looking tip-top shape, of course.
Unfazed by Legion's apparent climb back. Perhaps they think it might be pretty easy. Perhaps this might be their downfall.
Well, they're definitely generally really confident, but it is going to be Cymex versus Areas to start things off.
Yeah, this again. Double familiar battles.
And it was really interesting last time, but Areas already opening up in an explosive fashion. Gets to knock his opponent up into the air. Sanctum was used, but Cymex getting out of it means that now with the Doom and Gloom, things might look really good for Areas as he gets blown up 2%.
My God.
Destroyed. Cymex.
Smiling
for a reason there.
Yes.
Good reason.
Yes, he was. What? That was... Yeah, that was impressive. I think is the word I will use. Impressive. He started off with he started off by placing Pedal Storm bit too high above him when he was windwalking, so that's actually why he got caught out at the beginning there, because he wasn't actually in Petal Storm, it was above his head. But then the Thrall just died, and areas just got blown up.
It's just in an instant at that, so not having
Flower power.
Really just having anything. And if you missed it, understandably so, because it all ended up finishing in a blink of an eye, and as you can see, Arius just getting absolutely
He didn't even need to take down the
destroyed.
Thrall. He didn't, he just,
No,
he just, oh wow. Flower
Arius
power.
didn't even get to use his time warp, so.
That is very upsetting for him. That wasn't even like 20 seconds into the game.
Oh no,
And
Cymax
just
coming in
death.
very, very strong. And
yeah, this is already looking.
And we, as we said previously, as an individual player, Cymax is definitely a standout. Our only question towards him in the first Invitational was whether or not he can perform at the same level in the team environment in those 3 versus 3 scenarios. And since he proved himself already, now he showed in a LAN setting why individually he is so scary to face.
Indeed. And although he's had both convincing performances and not so convincing performances in 3v3, but exclusively from his 1 versus 1 performance, I wouldn't want to face him.
I'm sure everyone remembers how strongly opinionated Tenna is about facing Cymax.
I mean,
their particular friendship.
They're best friends.
Yeah.
They like
True
each other.
friends, if you will.
True friends.
True friends. And at the end of the day, isn't that the most important thing, Barney?
I mean, fighting points are pretty cool too, but yes, of course, friendship.
And coming up next, as we've seen on screen, it's looking to be Mr. Dude over on the side of Ugly Intentions. And judging by the fact that it's going to be Mr. Dude, what do you expect him to do this time around?
Fury. Do it. You know you want to. We all want it. But is he going to? Don't think so.
It doesn't seem like he does have the Fury, of course, as you can see right now on your screen. That round will start. Mr. Dude up against Brother Bill as he will go in already. Gets the daze, opening up really well against his opponent.
He's going
Ember
really
stomp there
aggro.
too. Pops him into the ground with a slam.
Wow, that was way too long on that type escape, I think.
Gets the air launch too. And with the dual strike, he's going to be able to pull him back in. But Gust, expended Typhoon will be the follow-up for Mr. Dude. But Brother Bill in potentially big trouble. Doesn't get the 5-point strike with their launch too. And now with the grapple, Flocka Blaze is going to keep him safe.
Not again.
The deflect has been the theme of the night so far as, oh man, Brother Bill out of options. And Mr. Dude looking to close it out. Gets at least grappled. Phantom Grip will buy Brother Bill a bit of extra time at the very least. No cheeky counters coming in on the side of Mr. Dude, and Guardian Tempest, again, will be good over on the side of the Blade Dancer, but gets the pull, raised up, grappled, back into the Ember Stomp you go, Brother Bill, and still on cooldown with that second win. This could be enough. Mr. Dude pops the Persistence offensively and gets the win.
The safe, guaranteed way to finish somebody off is to let them drop out of grab. Don't do anything fancy. Don't be like, I'm gonna power slam him. You don't need to. Just let him drop. They can't act for a short amount of time. So he just decided, I'm going to ram you, 2-second stun, and if I use persistence, you won't have your tab escape up before then. Which also means that he's actually keeping track. Mr. Dude, I mean, he's keeping track of when particular players use their tab escapes, and so because of that, he's able to do such risky plays with persistence.
And of course, also considering the fact that off-stream, he already got punished for going for a slam when he could have had the potential win. So not wanting to risk it once again makes it so that Ugly Intentions will be up 2-0 in the current standings with these two particular teams right now. And
well, it's still anybody's game, but it is looking grim.
It is looking grim. Of course, once again, Ugly Intentions, if they win the series, there are victors. They're gonna go home with a all too important invitation as in the form of that particular letter, as well as some exceptional cash prizes. So,
Dosh.
Definitely. And again, for Legion, they need to start bringing their A game once again.
Now it is going to be the 3 versus 3 matchup next. We'll see how both teams adapt to their current situation. Indeed, Legion must certainly be feeling the pressure now, given that the first 2 1v1s went the way that they did.
And of course, over on the side of Ugly Intentions, if they win the next 3 versus 3, as long as they win the 1v1s once again, which they've proven time and time again that they certainly are more than capable of doing, that means they're gonna potentially close the series really quick.
Indeed. I think the sooner they close this first crucial series, assuming that they do, it will be easier for them to then settle into the final series.
Well, if they close it out, they're the victors.
If they close it out, yes.
We'll see what happens, as it will be Mr. Dude over on the side of Ugly Intentions versus Zaphish, to the surprise of no one to start things off, as already Mr. Dude looking for an opener here, doesn't get anything just yet. The approaching fist will be used by Zaphish. SS into the Typhoon will be the choice of the abilities for Mr. Dude. Now with the knockdown means that Zaphish is going to get some help over from side. Both tag-ins, Phantom Grip by Dual.
Not like this.
Still alive, however. Maelstrom coming out of empathy in the nick of time, and now with the daze, can Mr. Dude return enough pressure? And so far, Zaphish able to tag out.
He still has persistence available, and Gust will be up in 15 seconds, but never mind about the persistence, he's using it very aggressively, but it won't be enough, and he'll say, nah, I'm out, mate.
Tried to do some damage to the Thrall at the very least, potentially there, making things easier for the next teammate here in Cymax, as Cymax already...
Is this a repeat of the 1v1?
Destroying areas at this point, dropping him low to 50%, and now Brotherbill coming in will be at full HP still, pulling his opponent. Lightning Draw is gonna connect, and good damage onto the Familiar at this point, dropping him to around half HP.
The raid into Siege Shroud is not good.
Ooh, a lot of assists on both sides, but...
Ooh, that's the fighting spirit coming out of Zaphish, actually, onto Brotherbill, but it won't be up for very much longer.
And now we'll have the Blade Dancers face off against each other. Empathy, slight advantage in terms of the cooldowns, but the most important one's still available on the Brotherbill side as well. Guardian Tempest popped by both of these Blade Dancers, and
Brotherbill should probably tag out. Never mind. Never mind.
Return, the aerial launch, and with the Time Warp, because this be it? No. The save coming in still. Enough time for Ugly Intentions to, at the very least, stabilize for now. But the grip is good. Assist still left for Legion Esports.
I don't think they're going to do it while he still has Gust.
So far, launching him up into the air, and even with Gust being up, he will be forced to use it, as he's going to drop really, really low, 40% back up for now.
Oh, that fluff was late. He got power slammed anyway.
Late. With the Stone Shield, bit of regeneration going to come through, a bit of sustain from Mr. Dude. Of course, Destroyers, outside of just running out of their main resource, neutral game overall, so pretty damn strong. Now with the Typhoon, it's going to keep him safe for a while longer, but the Dual Strike is going to prompt Mr. Dude to use his persistence. Run about 4 seconds until he's forced to tag out, and I think he's going to stay in until then.
He manages to deflect the Scorching Strike, which otherwise could have been a fairly good setup onto him. And now Zaphish is back in, gets the Flying Slam, but denied a follow-up by the Drag. Oh dear, Mr. Dude out of escapes.
But does have the connect there, and with the grapple,
oh, the knee. I don't even think he's going to be able to get anything off of that. Very unfortunate.
And as a result, Mr. Dude just tags out instantly, puts Cymex back into the game. Now, once again, we'll have to see what Cymex can do. Can he pump up that damage once more? So far, Zaphish playing exceptionally, getting a beautiful air launch into the Tiger Strike, or Tiger Pounce rather.
And now the iframe coming out of Cymex, buying himself some time. Zaphish not wanting to get snared in place. That would be disastrous for him.
And another big thing is the Familiar is really, really low on HP. Zaphish could actually get a kill there, but Cymex gets out.
Cymex decides to tag out in case of his Familiar, showing just how important that is to the gameplay aspect of Summoner.
Ooh, second win being used by Zaphish. Doesn't get the Flying Slam, but actually goes for the Time Warp. It does mean that Zaphish will get a full cooldown reset, even being bit out of range. That first wave of resets.
Empathy
It's
apparently
really good.
being a bit worried now. You switching to the VI frame. The instant lightning strike after the lightning draw for Empathy, but now he's tagged out.
And Cymax is back in, but gets the heal in time. That's a summoner sustain. So good. And Bertabil now potentially in trouble. Does have the second win. No escape available for Cymax instead. And now with the air launch, is this it? Comes in. Arias trying to close things out, but no.
Empathy coming in the nick of time with that Maelstrom save. But now Brother Bill also not exactly in a great position here.
Still has the second one though.
I think he's trying to go for the familiar, but I'm not sure if it's working excellently.
Does have the draw, so some damage potential definitely there. Was going for the dual strike, but opts in to tag out, and at this point, no assists available for him too.
However, this could be pretty bad for Cymax in this matchup now that he's using Petal Storm Toss and not the default resist Petal Storm.
And for Empathy can't tag in either,
dear.
It doesn't matter as Cymax once again will go down, but as we've seen previously, we can't count out Ugly Intentions just yet, but with the leech connecting, that's going to prompt Empathy to use his second win. Time Warp is going to come out, and he's going to be running away for his life. He's trying to stay alive for now.
4 minutes 30 has just passed. They're coming, past halfway now. Soon enough, there will be even more assists for everybody. Cymax actually died with 2, which is not ideal. Let's be fair.
Certainly not, but Zaphish now, having used his last assist, means that Bertabil is going to come back in. Bertabil himself still having a tap out available if needed. But over on the side of Ugly Intentions, things are looking really dire, Barney.
Yeah, this is not very good at all. Managing to avoid the second wind of Brother Bill here.
Oh
my god! Is this just a thing that people do now? You just counter drain?
The counter beautifully well executed, and now Empathy and a bit of chi back. Zaphish though. Can use that Tiger's Pounce, gets the KD into the Rising Dragon. Is going to opt the second win out of Empathy, and we'll see what happens. Both of these teams should get those assists back up soon, but so far, for now, Zaphish and Empathy are in it for at least 20 more seconds in the case of Empathy.
That was actually very beautifully played by Empathy there. He knew what would get Zaphish to tab escape, and he did it, but now he gets caught out again.
And the Tremor!
The Tremor and the Searing Palm if he doesn't mess this up.
But 8 seconds, he needs to get the kill. 6
I don't
seconds.
think it'll happen.
He needs to do it. 3 seconds remaining, and Zaphish not knowing that.
Not quite. But now he's also out of crowd control options. What's he gonna do against this? And he can't tag out for 50 seconds.
But the interferences are back in, and with that, it might just be enough as he gets to knock up into the air. Emberstop is gonna time out, pulls him in with the Rising Dragon. Now with the guard, he's gonna keep it safe potentially for a while longer. Follow-up is good though for Mr. Dude, and we might see an assist. The tag it comes out, but Persistence was popped, and even with the Guardian Tempest, Bertabil not really able to do too much.
This is still looking pretty grim for Mr. Dude. If he gets caught out again,
it's over. Potentially, it might just be here with the Tremor, but no. Assist. It's going to keep him safe for a while longer. Of course, Empathy getting his very own assist as well. And 14 seconds left for Zaphish.
Nice flying slam. He avoids it with the ram. That was awesome.
And again, just 6 seconds. Mr. Dude needs to do as much damage as possible here, potentially, but no. He's going to stay safe. Gets the Stone Shield, needs to regen as much as possible, and now
Gets
Bertabil
denied by Blitzblade.
Ooh, but dodges it with the SS. Now will be pulled in by the dual strike take chase. Will pumped out the Gust once again, and with the grapple, this could just be it. This might just be over.
Do you want to kill him? Do you want to? Are you gonna? Yeah, okay.
In style, in style.
Yeah. Nice.
Playing it safe, dropping them down in style.
I give it an 8.
But with that being said, Empathy is the last remaining survivor at this point for the side of Ugly Intentions. And with 1 minute, 35 seconds remaining, even if he somehow miraculously manages to stay alive, I don't know how he's going to be able to do more damage than the side of Legion Esports. But now with the last tag in, Time Warp is going to be used. Full wave of cooldown resets means that Empathy is going to be in big trouble. If he uses second win, and with a draw, Bertabil is going to close it out and equalize the series 2-2.
That fist bump coming out from Zaphish, he knows. He knows.
He knows. Oh, yeah.
That was sick, though. a tad unnecessary towards the end. They're like, you could have just killed him. There was no need to, you know, run the timer on your assist. What if he got persistence back? What if you weren't counting correctly?
Well, to be fair, dude was forced to use that persistence recent to that final Phantom Grip, but still, with that being said, really well done by Legion, and at this point, managing to equalize it 2-2. We'll see what they can do to keep up their performance.
Yes, indeed, and they're doing actually quite well. They've shown themselves to be masterful at 3v3s. Their teamwork and coordination is definitely among the best here. Probably more than enough to deal with ugly intentions. Just maybe a few 1v1s just to go in their favor, and that's all that they need.
And at the end of the day, even if you lose out on those 1v1s, as long as you at the very least have the superior coordination and teamwork to win the freeze, you're still good to go, even though it's a bit too close for comfort, of course.
Yeah.
Especially since you're facing a team like Ugly Intentions.
That is true, yes. But so far they've been doing well. And I do think that both teams are going to have a sort of pep talk, what they can do better, how they can keep themselves in the game, especially on the side of Legion, because should they win this series, they have to do it again. It's like Groundhog Day.
And with that being said, it is going to be Empathy coming up next for the side of Ugly Intentions for the 1v1 series, and Zaphish on the side of Legion, I believe, as we'll be getting ready.
But that matchup, should that be the case, that matchup is actually quite good for both classes. It can be argued either way, but Tiger Pounce especially is incredibly powerful, and it is that matchup. Should Zaphish be able to abuse the unparryable knockdown from Tiger Pounce, he'll be in a good spot here. Managing to avoid the opener with the Ice Guard very nicely, but gets pulled in by the dual strike.
And now with the air launch, we'll see Empathy doing potentially a lot of damage here, but plays it really safe. Doesn't want to overextend. Doesn't go for the blade draw either. And I believe he did manage to connect with the 5-point strike there. And as a result, Avenging Fist is going to come through for Zaphish. Now with this,
just barely. Somehow might miss.
But the draw is going to instantly force him to use that tap escape. Second one still available. And the strafe.
No, the tremor missed. No.
That is devastating potentially, but
again, look at that searing palm damage coming out. Impeccable. He does still have 20 seconds, a little less on his second wind, but with no lightning draw, he probably can't end this too quickly. And indeed, if Zaphish pulls the same thing that everyone else has, he doesn't. He's unable to counter that one.
7 seconds left on that second win.
It might not be enough.
Still doing a lot of damage, but again, playing it really, really
He has lightning draw. I think if this crits, it's over.
He misses! No! He actually misses. Zaphish is going to be able to stay alive off of it. And
NVM.
It's over. Second one was used.
Yeah.
Still gets it. But that could have been really, really bad.
Empathy with the face pump. Not like this.
Still gets it in the end, though, and that's what's important.
Oh, but Zaphish lives. Just kidding. Still, it was that was like a lifeline there, but Zaphish probably also wasn't expecting that to be the case, and he was like, "Oh, I should tab," and almost got it. But unfortunately, Lightning Strike, being the annoying skill that it is, it hits behind you. So unless you're prepared to counter and turn very, very quickly, it's probably going to hit you, and that's very unfortunate.
And once again, since in the next 1v1, both of these teams can pick and choose which class, which player is going to go next. Who do you think is going to come out for both of these teams?
Well, I don't think it's going to be Ares, for the fear that they might choose Cymex, because that would be probably disastrous. However, I'm assuming it's probably going to be either Bill or Zaphish. And on the side of Ugly Intentions, maybe Empathy. If they fear the Zaphish pick, then they might throw Empathy back at him, even though it was actually pretty close until the very end there. Alternatively, it might just be Mr. Dude. He might want to go up against Brother Bill. This has been like a staple this night, where Mr. Dude versus Brother Bill. And it goes either way.
And at this point, it's really important for Legion to actually get this next 1v1 win on the board, because at that point, they're going to be up 4-2 in terms of points in this particular match and series. And as a result, if they win the next 3 versus 3, they can reset once again and potentially get that first place finish. But it is going to be Mr. Dude versus Brother Bill. Familiar matchup.
Of course it is.
Familiar matchup as they want to go safe. Play it safe. I want to risk it. And oh, Guardian
the
Tempest.
Blitz opener avoided. And Soaring Falcon avoided by Searing Strike. This is how much they've played against each other. They just know. There is no opener anymore.
But Dual Strike actually is going to force persistence out of Mr. Dude. And that is not something the Destroyer is looking out for.
Pulls him in with that drag, though, and now into Ember Stomp. But he jumps out. Did you bang it?
Gets out with a beautiful strafe coming out of Brother Bill, and now drops it on the ground. Gets some good potential return damage, but still being safe. Brother Bill able to get the air launch, means that Dude did not get said return damage, and with the draw, it's going to
Lightning
force
Strike
the gust.
misses, unfortunately, so he won't be able to end it all there. Dude will have another lease on life.
But with that being said, still,
oh my god, they're
so
avoiding
many dodges.
everything from each other.
However, Raid Stun is going to connect, air launch is going to be good, and with that, the take flight means that Mr. Dude is going to see some more airtime, and so far, so good for Brother Bill.
Unable to keep him down, sadly, and he will have persistence in about 5 seconds' time. The Scorching Strike out of nowhere.
And the sun is there, but second win available for Brother Bill. The question is how much of his resources in terms of the HP is he willing to sacrifice at this point? 50% says no more. Use this as that second win. Pops that Guardian Tempest, and so far still spinning. Mr. Dude still doing plenty damage off of it. Now with the persistence being used, he wants to close it out.
He
gets the D, and Brother Bill is gonna go down. Mr. Dude takes it.
Yeah, that was good. That was very well played by Mr. Dude there. He knew that, you know, he had to use his escapes in perhaps a unique and innovative way. But there comes a point where he can force out the tab escape from Brother Bill without really expending too much effort on that. And it all comes down to Ember Stomp, because if the Destroyer is an Ember Stomp, you have 2 choices. Either you sit there and you take that damage, which really piles on quickly, or you use your second wind and you get out of there as quickly as you can. But by that time, he had both of his escapes up again. And even though he used persistence aggressively, even if that somehow failed, he would have still had his second wind, his gust available to use for when Brother Bill caught him a second time.
And the good thing for us, as well as Ugly Intentions, is the fact that we will be seeing 2 more 3 versus 3s coming up next year to decide the victory between Ugly Intentions and Legion. And if Legion can bring it back and actually get a win here, reset the bracket, this is going to be pretty devastating for Ugly Intentions.
Well, it's entirely possible, but as we've seen from the very first series tonight, I don't think they want to let it go to time. Miraculously, I think they actually heal more than Ugly Intentions, and so they probably don't want it to go back to time. If they do, they'll be crossing their fingers and hoping for the best. But otherwise, their main target should probably be the very cheery man on your screen right now, Cymex.
And it paid off in the past, and it could pay off again, especially since we've seen what kind of damage Cymex can put out. I'd say it's not too shabby, not too shabby.
I'd say it's reasonable.
Of course, and those sunflowers, man, they hurt. They definitely hurt. And we'll see what their game plan will be coming up in next. And again, I wouldn't expect any changes for the openers. Again, probably Zaphish and Mr. Dude.
Oh,
and
actually,
this is going to be a swap.
Areas.
Interesting. Yes. With the swap coming through areas.
A timely Bastion there.
Gonna be able to...
It's Fury! Ah-ha-ha!
Oh, it is! And he actually pops it, and as a result, Time Warp is gonna go through and gets the full cast. Thrall actually now finally goes down, but the question is, did Mr. Dude do enough, and was it really worth it? Yeah. So far, gets the pull in, but the follow-up is still there. No assist on either side. Finally gets something out of
that
Credibility.
was nice.
with the air launch, it's going to prompt Empathy to use his Maelstrom as well. Oh, Rip setting it up for Mr. Dude. Areas could be in big trouble.
He still has his second win. He doesn't want to use it just yet, but he's forced to, and he will tag out very quickly. But Mr. Dude, having Fury again, mind you, this could be fairly interesting, because he's also using Guard Break Knee. The next time he gets that back, if he's still in by that time, Zaphish might get out. There it is, there's the Blitz! After the Fury!
But Zaphish still safe for now. Question is for how longer. The return is good, however. And with the assist, is he gonna go down?
Zaphish!
No, Mr.
Zaphish is using the fire build! Oh my god, no!
Oh. Some really spicy builds coming out of both of these teams, and Zaphish again being an absolute big just X factor here, destroying Mr. Dude. And at this point, I wouldn't count Ugly Intentions out of it, but this is not looking good for them.
This is the build version, the build equivalent of Repair Hammers, I think.
And so far, Cymex doesn't have his escape anymore. Credibility here to end.
Okay,
does have it.
Taking a bunch of damage there.
We'll be able to stay safe for now. Gets the grip.
Having the ability to block things while you have someone else gripped is very good.
Draw being used, but knockup Battle Familiar is good. Cymex now will be able to sustain backups, and Ali cheers coming in by Cymex, and at this point, Butterbill gonna drop down to 40%, but with the assists coming through, what can they do? It's still at 20%, but return damage should be good. Cymex dropping to 46% himself.
Butterbill healing up a little bit. Never mind, healing up. Okay, he's healed quite a bit now. That was, wow, okay. Time distortion, thank you.
It resets those cooldowns, and with Guardian Tempest giving you that HP back as a Blade Dancer.
This could be dead.
Oh man, Empathy in big trouble.
Assist.
37% HP left, and both of the assists coming through means that Cymex is gonna come back.
Cymex still doesn't have his escape, by the way.
Zaphish, so much damage, still gonna go through. 60% left for the summoner. He's gonna be able to sustain back up just a bit, but Familiar is really low on HP too, and Zaphish definitely looking poised to potentially close it out for his team here.
The flying slam. If this hit, yep, that was.
It's over.
Nice.
Empathy, last survivor for Ugly Intentions, and with that, Legion Esports will be able to close it out. Most likely, I don't see how Empathy can possibly survive for 6 minutes and 40 seconds, let alone win 1 versus 3.
Yeah, this is possibly the lifeline they were looking for. And wow.
Some good Warlock damage there. Not too bad, not too bad. And with that, Legion will be grabbing another 3 versus 3 victory, and
I think that was reasonable. I think it's pretty reasonable.
Teamwork, as said, coming through once again. This team showing us why their practice
pays off.
Oh yeah.
Very, very much. And it also goes to show that, you know, teamwork is also probably the most essential thing, because the 3v3s are worth more. So if you're good at that, then everybody is happy on your team, not the enemy team. and you advance even quicker. So with this, if they win the next 3v3, they will reset the bracket. They will have a shot at taking home the $4,500 and the guaranteed spot at EU Regionals.
And at this point, if you're Ugly Intentions, or just both of these teams, really, it's tournament fatigue, and just in general, that stamina needs to be really there, because you need to keep up the performance. You can't let your guard down. Both of these teams have exceptional players, the top ones in EU, of course, and it's just been such a treat to behold and just watch.
Oh yeah, this has been amazing. And it's also nice to see that despite everything, as you can see, the players are still happy. They're still enjoying themselves, which I think is the most important thing. Also, the fighting points are pretty good, but mostly enjoying themselves.
Especially since their performance for both of these teams has been just stellar tonight. Even if, of course, Ugly Intentions loses here, they still have another shot at it. So it's going to be Mr. Dude versus Zaphish this time.
Yep, standard start as before.
No shenanigans. On the side of Mr. Dude, no Fury once again.
Triple kicked. Firestorm kicked.
Oh, but Amberstomp is going to come through, prompts the assist, but Typhoon is going to knock both of them away. Actually, Maelstrom is going to help
was
the
a
setup.
nice combo.
Dual strike into the flying slam. Persistent is the answer. Gust, of course, also down for the destroyer, but the tag in, or rather the assist coming out of MPV, means that Zaphish is going to just peace out for now. Stay safe for a while. Cymex, of course, now in for the side of Ugly Intentions, but Ugly Intentions having an HP lead so far.
I wonder, is he using a normal build again, or is he still using the fire build? I guess we'll find out soon enough.
There he is. He's gonna launch his opponent up into the air. Sanctum is down. Fall, of course, being summoned previously means that Time Warp can come out for play at any point, and now trying to go in, gets in for the stun, and now with the Time Warp coming through, Cymex is going to be able to stay safe for a while, still has that escape if need be, finally goes ahead and uses it, and will be able to stabilize potentially here.
There is forced to use the second win thanks to the power pounce. And now,
but Empathy actually is going to drop really, really low. Lightning Jaw is going to burst him down, but whoa, that was really scary for him. Now, with the Guardian Tempest, is going to keep it safe for a while. Return Lightning Jaw.
Empathy answers back, but Brother Bill still having the advantage here with his reversal being up.
Flocka Blades available though.
The drain, this could be it. Oh, the blue buff pulls him in.
Oh, with Empathy dropping down to 40% HP, still alive. Can still tag out for now, but this is so close. Legion in a really big lead at this point.
The very, very timely shield coming out of Mr. Duke, saving his teammate. The teammate that has 2 assists, mind you, and is now probably too low to necessarily use them. Cymex is getting juggled in the air now.
And it's looking to be a Herculean challenge here for Ugly Intentions to bring it back up in their favor now with the air launch. Rudderbill, maybe, just maybe they can do it, and Cymex. That's some disgusting damage, and now Zaphish still with the bees just gets taken down to 45% HP, and Ugly Intentions looking to finally get the tournament win here. 3 versus 2. Can they close it out? It's not over yet for Legion Esports, of course, as Area still has quite a few cooldowns. Should have that time warp, and still Cymex is going to drop down to 39%. Arias is going to try and secure a potential kill here, but no, seeing the time warp, Cymex is able to get out, and no assists available for Empathy, so no potential saves coming out of him there, but Stone Shield is going to be used. Mr. Dude popping that one, and this is not looking good for Legion Esports now, Barney.
Yeah, that was a quick turnaround, wasn't it? It was like, oh yeah, it's looking real good. Okay, never mind.
And now Arias will have
Fury again.
We'll have the assist, but as you said, with the Fury, with the spin, Typhoon, so much damage. The Destroyer is so angry going for the face.
He's still going.
And he's still going, just like you said, even with the assist. And oh man, even though 2 team members of Ugly Intentions are relatively low, doesn't really matter for Cymex's case, but Zaphish gets the air launch. If he can do a lot of damage with the help of Arias, maybe, just maybe, it would be enough, but no. Available tag out means that Empathy is going to be in. He has a tag out available left for his own. With the draw,
Zaphish is
this
dead.
is going to be it. Zaphish is out, and bad, or rather, it's just so bad for Legion Esports as Ugly Intentions looking to close it out. If Arias goes down there, it is going to be tournament over for them, and it does mean Ugly Intentions take it home with a first place finish, and now Empathy still going in. Thrall still up for Arias, but it's going to be really tough. 1v3 not looking too likely, and at this point, Empathy still has the luxury of tagging out if need be.
How can he win?
Warlock damage, maybe. Maybe, just maybe, but now with a Bastion, knockdown, Empathy still with the leech. This might just prompt him to get out soon, but no, never mind. Maelstrom.
This is not looking
Gonna get it. Assist is there. Mr. Dude
trying to steal the glory with the pile driver.
And Ugly Intentions are your tournament winners. First prize finish. Congratulations.
Yes, indeed. They've shown themselves to be just spectacular. Just spectacular. Everything that they've done so far has been efficiency and style at the same time. And although they had a few rough matchups here and there, you know, they had this, they had a few losses against Legion. Legion also proving themselves to be very good, but in the end, Ugly Intentions Coming up as the better players, it seems.
And with that, of course, they will be securing that cash prize of $4,500 as well as the invitation towards the EU regionals, which will be in Germany, Cologne, which I'm at this point just super excited to watch them play there once again. Another tournament setting, land setting, and on top of that, they can definitely be, I would be definitely proud to call them one of the probable teams to represent Europe in the World Championship.
As would I. Indeed, we shouldn't forget about Legion as well. They
course.
also go home with $3,000 and 500 fighting points, so the likelihood of seeing them at the EU regionals is also pretty high.
Got a lot of fighting points for that one, for sure.
Pretty good, pretty good.
And it must feel absolutely amazing for Ugly Intentions now after being denied that first place finish in the Season 1 online invitational by Bad Intentions. Now, of course, unfortunately for Bad Intentions, not being able to participate here tonight means that Ugly Intentions showed us why they are still, or rather why they were still so worthy of that first place finish back then.
Cathartic. In fact, they win here, and they also do it pretty convincingly. If it went to a second series and they sort of clinched it out, then it would have been like, ooh, a bit worried. But they pulled through. They knew where the strengths were on Legion. They figured it out towards the end. They knew exactly who to target, when to go in, and well, the bees.
Just the bees, not the bees, not the bees. But for more info on how the players feel and just how excited they must be right now, we're gonna head it over to Maggie. Take it away.
All right, I'm here with your European Wildcard champions. I mean, let's give it up for them. Come on, let's hear it. Woo! Oh my gosh, how does it feel to be locked into the regionals? At least to be able to go over there and like see what you can do.
It feels pretty good, and like it was a pretty close fight, but in the end, like we're just really better. So.
Now you guys have had a rivalry with these guys. I mean, you took them out in the winners bracket and in the losers bracket of the Season 1 Invitational, and now you come in here and you kind of stormed through. What are you feeling? How are you feeling about that? And maybe like what strategies did you guys bring coming into this?
Well, the main strategy was for me to not die in the first minute, because that usually happens when we like spar them, like before this tourney. So I tried to keep that in mind, and we managed to pull through. And Cymix really improved, by the way.
He did. But speaking of you not dying, I think that you and Brother Bill have quite a little rivalry going back and forth, constantly in those 1v1s. What's going on with that?
Oh, do you think? I don't know, dude. I think me and Bill are almost like best friends now.
Best friends forever. I know, Cymix, you want to talk a little bit about how you improved.
Yeah, sure. Give me this.
I'm not going to give you the microphone.
Basically, like a good friend, Kelly QQ is like the best summoner you. He told me in the break that I should try to roll my face on the keyboard, which didn't work. So I tried to just keep calm and get better. Because usually we lose versus them. We have like 4 wins in total, like in tag, and that's all in tournaments because they're probably just really nervous. So yeah.
Now, the chat really wants to know this answer to this, and I think we kind of do as well. And I know you just said, oh goodness. So what's going on with the hole in your shirt?
My cat ripped it open, but good thing I won a lot of money today, so I'm gonna buy a new one.
That's perfect. Oh my goodness. The summoner life, you know, the battle. And now for our final, I know you had some things that you wanted to say.
Yeah, I just want to shout out Rank 1 BDPN. You're the reason I'm here today. Thank you, dude.
All right, and that's it from our European Wildcard champions. Oh my goodness, we're going to be seeing them in the regionals. Why don't you guys go ahead and Cricket, take your letter.
And what an exciting finish here for our final series of the night. Of course, Ugly Intentions, exceptionally well played. Cymix, in his case, having that cat familiar in real life too.
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, now will be able to deal with it, with the issues. And congratulations to them once again. Really well played, really well deserved.
I also like the shout out that that Empathy made to Pierre. It's always nice to appreciate the people that helped you get to where you are now on a stage, being winners.
Oh yeah, and of course, with that, this will close out the EU Wildcard tournament. But you definitely want to make sure you will follow the Twitch channel over here on Blade and Soul, because next week we will have the North American Wildcard tournament as well. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that one, and it's going to be really exciting. But just looking back at some of these past few moments here tonight, it's just been so explosive, Barney.
It really is difficult to pick any single moment that is particularly standout. There are so many times when you could have, if you blinked, if you did anything except give your full attention to what was happening, you would miss everything. Such as this moment right here.
As Brother Bill just disappeared, gets deleted from the game.
Indeed, Cymex definitely, yeah, it was no joke, he definitely did improve quite a bit. Although, I mean, I thought he was already pretty good, but hey, sky's the limit.
Oh yeah, and especially looking forward to the future opponents at the regional tournament, as well as potentially, the World Championship eventually. He definitely needs to keep on improving his game in order to actually place in a high fashion and the World Championship. So we'll see what they can do. Of course, getting a bit ahead of myself, as we will still have the regional championship over in Germany in Cologne happening in late August. So once again, make sure to follow Blade and Soul on Twitch, on YouTube. If you missed any of the action, you can watch all the VODs over there, as well as just follow Blade and Soul on Twitter, as well as BNS Esports for any esports related news. I'm sure we're going to have potentially some future interviews there on top of it as well. Just a few written ones, which would be really, really exciting to watch. But once again, my name's Burge. It's been an absolute blast and an absolute pleasure. Barney, thank you for joining me.
Anytime.
And again, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed and had a wonderful time. Signing off.